Sure.
Exactly. We're leaving it up to chance in the true spirit of Dungeons & Dragons.
Sure.
So we've got the flying cat, we've got the hand grenade, we've got the D6, we've got the plan. Let's fucking drop the cat bomb!
When we last left off, all of our players were down in the dungeons below the Sanctum of Itar. They had just discovered Lavinia, the much sought after, I will say, bounty that they were sent on by Crix Lockfinger in order to bring her back into his fold. However, they learned some valuable information. And for you to learn that valuable information, you're going to have to go back and watch episode 29. In the meantime, welcome to Wither and Bloom Studios. My name's Todd. I'm your Dungeon Master. Are we ready to play Dungeons & Dragons tonight?
Oh my god.
Yeah! Well, that was beautiful.
Yay. Thank you.
Oh my god.
I
That
should
was
play
like,
Bard next campaign.
I was going to say, that was Freddie Mercury all the way.
Wow.
All right, so should we have a little...
finger thing?
Oh, are you playing with Beholder again?
Yeah.
Huh?
It was. You know, you keep playing with that. You're
Gonna go blind?
You're gonna go blind.
Oh my god! Why couldn't I get it out? That was like a volleyball. Just the symbolism. Spike! Yeah. Just the symbolism of all the eyes mean nothing to you.
Nothing.
That's basically screaming. Stop touching your beholder or you're gonna go blind.
Timestamp.
Yeah. Wow. Nate's got it, don't worry.
We are down a player tonight as our as Olivia, aka Remy, is recovering from a wound, shall we say. So she's currently suckling the healing potions and getting several long rests.
Yes.
So
But she succeeded her death saves.
barely.
But barely.
But barely.
Yeah.
Should we have a little recap on the game last week? All right. So we have been on. Are you trickling?
That was a scrungly one.
I'm hard.
I still keep saying I'm going to put an actual mic on your mug.
One of these days.
I got to get that mic because that's absolutely fantastic.
Oh no. Oh,
Cheers.
good one.
Cheers, everybody.
Oh god.
My dad, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
You know, we have
procreated.
been on a classic dungeon crawl in this campaign, which I've actually thoroughly enjoyed. And you managed to get down to the second level down in the dungeon in our last campaign. Now, one of the things about this that I think is interesting just from a gameplay standpoint, I'm going to metagame here for a second and just get out of the game for a second, is I've been loving the use of the terrain in the minis, right?
Yeah.
It hasn't been perfect, but it's been pretty good, and I love the way it illustrates what's going on. Two, we can shift things around a little bit, but I don't think we're going to be working our way out of this dungeon in the way we went in. So, that being said, you did manage to find Lavinia after a trek down through the second floor of the dungeon, and upon finding her, she talked to you about some things that you had not expected to hear. One, she revealed to you that Crix Lockfinger was, in fact, a far more dangerous terrorist than he had been made out to be, and that he had developed a kind of oddly chemical weapon that he intended to use against the mycelial network below Emberfell. And what his motives for doing this are, we don't know. We do know that Lavinia found out about this and Crix was onto her. So what she fears is that he wants her back so that he can kill her because she has knowledge that he doesn't want out there. She also revealed to you that he has a distillery on the third level of this dungeon that Thyla actually went through the trapdoor in the floor to find, which was frankly kind of brave going on your own. But Thyla did go down into that trapdoor, and
She weren't alone, though.
What's that?
They weren't alone, though.
This is true. Thyla was not alone. For after finding this massive glass and steel and copper distillery, and smashing the glass to pieces and thus destroying it, they were confronted by the bouncer. Now, the bouncer is a resident beholder that protects the sanctity of this establishment and makes sure that nobody defiles it in any way, shape, or form. A brave move on the part of Thyla to destroy this, but that was not an original piece of the sanctum, and therefore the bouncer did not have a problem with this. The bouncer functioned as Thyla's escort back out of the space. It was a tense moment, but Thyla made it out okay. And when we last left, the party was still in Lavina's quarters, waiting to leave this dungeon. And here we are. I turn it over to you.
Well, shall we follow?
Did you make a little mess of the place down there?
So to speak.
It did sound as if you had some time to play Smashy Bangy.
Indeed.
What?
It was... let's just say I was protecting the sanctity of the sanctum.
Well, I guess it didn't upset the bouncer.
No, it didn't.
Yeah,
And for that, I am
bouncer was down
glad.
there?
I don't know.
What was that?
I said the bouncer was down there?
I don't know.
It was.
Oh,
Was there any other...
what's the bouncer?
Big floating eye thing. Quite intimidating, actually, but docile if you don't fuck with it. So I personally wouldn't advise fucking with it.
Reasonable.
But that being said, I don't know if there is much else to be done here.
Was there any other passages or rooms down there?
Plenty, yes, but I doubt any lead out. Remember the saying that the further down we go here, the darker, more malevolent things we may face.
Right.
Does our new friend know anything over here?
Yes, what do you know?
What you knew?
What do you know?
About which part? I know a lot of things.
Is there a way out other than the way we came in?
Oh, I'm sorry, that. Unfortunately, no. The deeper we go, the further down below bedrock we get. Things get a little bit more crusty and natural cavern-esque. The only way out is up and through the entrance that you came in.
Very well. Then it stands to reason that we should be cautious, at least. If Crix followed us, he wouldn't be happy that Lavinia here is not among the dead here.
Yes, probably wise for us to not just parade out the front door with her in tow. No offense.
I'm going to assume that most of my undead that I've created have been...
Dispatched.
Sorry, not sorry.
There was a crypt nearby. We didn't mess
One room
around
was
with
locked.
that.
Don't
Yeah.
defile.
Oh, yes, the one by the corner that's trapped.
Yes.
Do you know who's in there?
I don't. Actually, I've never been able to get into that room, nor did I really bother much. I'm not down here for treasure. I'm down here more to hide, and that room didn't seem to be ideally located.
Very well.
Should we search for an alternative route of escape? Because we don't know who's waiting outside.
We never pursued the room that we ran into all of her friends in.
Right?
There was another door in that room.
This is true.
Indeed.
Wait, what?
The door that
The,
past
the big room where
Death
we-
trap of death. and
yes, the
Oh yeah, no, that door was locked up pretty fucking tight.
That one was?
The one past the pitfall.
No, this one.
whatnot. No,
That
that was
went
when
through
we that was where
This
we
is
went.
where we
there.
came
But
through.
it's-
This was
That was the
downstairs and
stairs.
she's under there.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Can't do mine.
The only thing we didn't explore, and we didn't find a way up, wasn't that a set of steps over there?
That was a set of steps over there.
But we didn't necessarily find a way up from the floor we're on right now. But we passed one or two essentially skylights,
we
right?
came down
Yes.
there and went through
We
here.
were underneath all this. We passed this hall. I believe we passed that one.
Yeah, we
But
didn't look.
find the steps
But
up.
that one set of stairs in that first room you never did explore. You hid in there momentarily,
Yeah,
but
around
then
that
you
corner.
chose not to go down.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as what we still see on the table here, the only thing we couldn't get through was the locked door by the floor trap, and whatever might have led down there.
Is this
That was
like
going
the
was
topography
going
of the
down.
surrounding area
I think
outside
it
of the
was an
temple?
access to
Are
that
there?
floor
Are we off like a cliff face, or is there a nearby valley? Nothing?
There actually, I mean, a valley, it is a very gently sloping valley.
Right.
But this is the general middle region of the continent of Emberfell, so you're not far from farmland.
Right.
You went into the woods to get to this region, but
Right.
it was just on a slightly crested hill that the actual temple existed on.
Right.
You are far below that surface.
So there wouldn't be at any point. Seriously, would deduce and going deeper to find an alternative route out.
I'll save you the nature roll and just basically say, no, there doesn't appear to be something that might be like a cliff face where there'd be an exit
Right.
from some underground tunnel.
Lovely.
Now, I could be, as your DM, I'm not going to give you everything.
No, yeah, of
But you
course.
would deduce that it's not likely.
Right. Well,
I don't know. Are we afraid Crix is going to meet us at the entrance?
It's entirely possible.
I would not be surprised for him to have sent at least a scout or
And-
two to follow us and see what was going on.
knowing his influence and albeit tenacity,
Indeed.
I'd rather not take chances if we don't have to.
Might I suggest, there are numerous times where I get close to the entrance when I have to go in and resupply, or go out and resupply, I should say. We can work our way up, slowly, and just make checkpoints, occasionally making sure that he's not near. Once in the sanctum itself, up in the temple, there are numerous escape routes out of that, and we should be able to get eyes on whether someone's waiting for us out there or not.
Indeed. If anything, I could turn into a small animal and survey the surrounding location.
That would
Fantastic.
be lovely.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, all right then.
All
Let's
right.
move up.
absolutely.
Then let's move up.
So you gather your things and slowly wind your way back through the lower level of the dungeon that you're currently on, back to the stairway that takes you up into the storage chamber that you encountered all of the undead that Lavinia had created.
So, just to go back to last session,
Yes.
she was doing her own research, right?
She was doing her own research.
Yeah, was she doing her own research on what Crix was necessarily doing here? Because she knew a lot of stuff.
She did. She alluded to, when she spoke to you, that she had seen and also heard elements of his plan, and then confirmed those things by finding the distillery and this chemical that she...
Yeah, she has like a chemical in a vial or something.
Yes,
doesn't
she got a couple of the small vials.
Wasn't she sitting at a desk?
She was?
Did we search this or take anything that was in there?
Well, you did not, because, number one, you didn't say that you did, and number two, it would seem awkward to root through her own desk.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? I'm going to look through your shit.
As you're packing your things up, though, and getting ready to go, we'll
need
just
a
back
warrant.
up a little bit. She does take a couple of things of note. So in her knapsack, she takes the shell, the Galapa shell that has the gold line of repair in it with the stuffing in the middle. She wraps that carefully up in a cloth, and she places that in her bag. She does take the book that she was reading at that desk. She also puts that in her bag. Gathers up a few other personal effects, but those seem to be the two things of note that you see her put away.
I mean, she's the one with the information right now.
Indeed.
We just break shit.
Smash.
Yeah.
So, at this point, where are we in the dungeon?
Well, you would have, after seeing all of that and traveling the distance that I just mentioned a little while ago, you're in that large storeroom with all the boxes and barrels where you ran into the 12 or so skeletons and ghasts.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Lovely.
I would love to... We didn't fuck around with anything that was labeled with the Velvet Sky logo when we were in here prior, did we?
We searched a couple of things in this room.
But they were unmarked.
Yeah, that's where we found the healing potions.
That's where you
and
found the healing
bombs.
potions and these smaller...
Boom balls.
Are there any boxes or barrels that are labeled with the Velvet Sky logo that I could investigate and maybe crack open?
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. That's what the majority of the boxes and crates are
Awesome.
in that space.
Could I find a crate and crack it open?
Sure. Give me a strength check, because these are relatively well secured.
All right, 15.
A 15? All right, so it doesn't take you long to sort of pry open with, you find a bunch of implements.
I have a crowbar.
And you have a crowbar. Okay, so
Yeah.
you grab a hold of the crowbar, you pry open this crate, and as you open it up, this crate is actually packed tight with, and this is not a larger crate. This is not one of the larger, like 4 foot by 4 foot crates. This one's a little bit smaller. And you probably went to that one hoping to find a cache of something else, like your grenades, or this one is loaded with metal bars. Poured as ingots, and you're not sure of the metal, but I'm assuming the Thrud would not be far away.
Thrud. I'll just lift up one of the ingots. Would you be able to tell what this is?
Drew takes it, smells it, licks it, bites it.
Yes.
Kind of goes like this.
Nothing.
We both know what that's from. Mm-hmm. It's silver. And I would guess that in this crate there is probably close to, if you were to melt this down and turn it into coin, 5,000 silver pieces.
It's good cash. Tasty.
It's really heavy, though. It's insanely heavy. This is not something one person's going to attach to their belt and carry out of here. It's like a 2-person job to pick this thing up.
Can I get a little bit of that?
Can you get a little bit of that?
Could you store it in your ring?
Can I get a little bit of that?
You want to carry it out of here?
Some of it.
Should we
I don't know if I want to
take a couple layers off the top, take everything from the below, stuff it with some shit, and then leave the 2 layers on top? Take everything else, put it in your ring, and
I
go
think-
happy-go-lucky?
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, a little something for our troubles, eh?
Or
I agree.
Wait, could you just take the whole barrel?
No, it has to be a certain
I
way,
have to
right?
be able to pick it up.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should be able to pick it up.
How heavy is this crate?
How'd
What's
you
that?
How heavy is this crate?
You can make a strength check for me.
Yeah, no, not.
Get,
I can give you the help action.
Oh, you can't
Didn't
help
you
me into
move
my
bodies
ring now.
into your ring previously?
That would be a
Guidance.
6 minus 1.
Guidance.
Yeah. Even with all the guidance, this thing is like welded to the floor for you. You're like going to pick it up and you can feel your spleen separating.
Oh my god.
It's heavy.
Fucking hernia. Pop.
Are you okay?
Just I'll take an armful. Maybe just
Can you have to have it, right? It has to
I have
be
to have
something
it.
that I can't dump it into your ring for
no.
you.
You can't dump it into the ring for me.
That's what
Not
she
even
said.
so you like wrap yourself around it.
What do you have, like pockets and things like that? Can we load you up? You go into your ring, dump everything in there.
Like a sack.
Sure.
We can make you a mean vest.
You want to pop any other ones open?
Yeah. I'll just like twirl the crowbar.
Let me just prompt you into doing things.
I would love to.
Um,
I accept these prompts.
Touch it.
There's a barrel that's
Ooh.
not far from this, and the lid looks pretty accessible. So you get your crowbar in there, you pry it open,
Oh, fucking gold.
and this is nice and level at the top with a jet black fine powder.
Awesome. Torch check?
As you pry the top off, you can kind of see it just gently, sort of a little bit of dust comes up into the air. Not much, but
I have Let's see. I have a water skin.
I essentially have to be able to carry it in.
How big is... Okay, water skin... It says here in D&D Beyond that it weighs 5 pounds, this water skin.
Is that full? It weighs 5 pounds?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be a 1 gallon of water weighs approximately 8 pounds. So this is probably about 3/4 of a gallon thereabouts, maybe a little less than that. So the volume of that, you can imagine if you just think about a gallon jug, 3/4 full.
I'm gonna take a sip of my water skin. Lavinia, would you like some water?
Fine, sure. She takes a little.
Drink as much as you want.
She kind of takes a few swigs off of it, passes it over to Thrud.
The water skin is gonna make the rounds until it's empty.
I figured as much.
While I have this empty water skin, I would love to fill my water skin half full with the... I assume it's gunpowder. Or a similar substance to that. Fantasy gunpowder.
You have all been in the presence of black powder at this point, and yes, this is an identical match to that. So
I'm gonna fill up
boom
half
dust.
I'm gonna fill up half of my water skin with the boom dust.
Okay.
I have plans for this.
Oh boy.
I can make a mean improvised weapon out of that.
Oh,
But I don't have anything to carry it in. Unless I like wrapped it in clothes.
The small crates or barrels of it.
yeah, they're all over the place. You could open another one if you wanted to.
I'll join the party. Why not?
Okay. As you pry one open, you find that it's full of the same familiar sulfur material. The smell leaks out into the room. So these are chunked pieces of hard-formed sulfur, probably needing to be processed, but the crate is fairly well stocked with them. I mean, you realize quickly that these materials that are all over the place are really about creating weapons. This is an effort to supply... This is not about humanitarian aid to the Afari continent. At all.
Fuck no, it ain't.
Well, it seems very obvious that the stockpile here confirms her assertions that he is a Splinter Cell, or someone that would be a little bit of a rogue. Do we want to, castrate his efforts?
yeah.
Sure.
Are there any other crates?
There's 3 more crates, I will say.
I'm not gonna blow this place up.
Yeah.
No,
I
I'm
don't
not
want to
suggesting
spend
that.
too much time looting because we do need to get out of here.
Fuck out.
So I
Lavina
think,
kind of hears you say that and says, yeah, been down here a while. I'd like to get moving on. And frankly, I've been through a number of these. They tend to be the same thing over and over again.
gotcha.
So,
So let's boogie.
Well, my point is this. We have a moment where we can essentially reduce the amount of damage that he can do.
There's a ton of crates.
I know, but
But even by a
What are we
little
gonna
bit. I want
are
to
we
crack
gonna do with
open
them?
one more crate.
okay.
empty them, hide them. Take
It's
them out
another
of
crate of
his use.
sulfur.
Sulfur?
Yep.
Because even if we get away and we hide and we do whatever we're going to do, that therein essentially completes his ask of us, right? If we come in here, whether we bring this lovely lady to him to serve on the platter or not, he wanted access back to these things.
I thought we established we weren't doing that.
Okay, fine.
Interesting.
Putting in my 2 cents.
Water and alcohol.
So, bedroll, rope, and stuff out of my backpack. How many bars do you think can I get in my backpack?
I would say all told, between your backpack and whatever else you're able to carry, I'm going to say you can probably get about 2,000 pieces of silver.
Okay.
2,000 silver worth.
Thrud, help me put this in my backpack and load me up a little bit.
There you go.
I'm gonna go poof.
Poofy poof.
Oh, you going to the ring?
Yeah, I'm going in the ring.
Okay.
I'm gonna, drop it down on one of my little end tables. Empty out the backpack really quick. and we'll come back.
Okay.
You want another 2,000 more?
No.
Come on.
I can only do it once.
All right. Okay.
I'm
fine.
stuck now.
Let's go.
All right.
It's limited.
So Lavina's kind of standing there, arms crossed, backpack slung over one shoulder, tapping a foot on the floor, just watching all of you. And you could tell she's growing kind of impatient and a little anxious, a little
I'm going to
nervous.
grab one of the silver bars, and I'm just going to kind of hand it to her.
Great, thanks. This will be helpful when I meet Gamera. Can we at least get up, out to the entrance?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
I bet.
Indeed.
All right.
As we
Far be
approach,
it from me to want to hinder the abilities of our enemies to do anything crazy. But fine, let's go. We must away.
we did a little bit, and besides, we may have just got an extra little toy under our belt.
Well, also you did destroy their means of, producing that terrible bioweapon.
That's true.
Exactly.
So, well, we've already done a good number there, so I think we can focus on ourselves.
But now
a bit.
we're leaving him all of his weapons that he can come after
Oh,
us
go
with.
fuck himself. What's he gonna do? Blow up one thing?
Very good. Let's go.
As we approach the exit, I would like to employ a use of my wild shape.
You do go through the door with Monk and Cell's head first, which
Yes.
is the last door.
Wait, were we going to check out the stairs or no?
I would love to check out.
Should we check out the stairs?
You wanna
Those go down, don't they?
Yeah,
Yes,
those go
they
down.
do
There's
go down.
nothing really that we can get in terms of an escape route from going down.
But they might have got some trinkets, some knickknacks.
Okay.
Or some scary monsters.
Does
Or just take a peek.
our
at-
friend know what's down these stairs?
Yes. Lavina kind of says, "Oh, here, yeah. There's a crypt down there with several doors built into the walls where I believe they used to entomb some of the priests. A couple of them are open. One's got bones.
Oh,
Been down there.
no point. We don't want to
All right,
defile the
let's
sanctity.
fucking go.
We approach the monk head.
Monk and Cell, as you open the door, he kind of swings in on that door, right? And he kind of the head lifts up, and he's like, leaving so soon.
We got what we came for.
I trust that since you're still alive, you left the place in one piece."
Of course. Had a pleasant interaction with the bouncer as well.
Turns and sees Lavina there, and he's like, "Oh, and you're here.
Not for long.
Well, safe travels. Don't come back too soon."
After we pass this door, I will drop a wild shape. As Thyla kind of walks through the door, their form just kind of begins to shrink, and you can see that they become covered in that same viscous, mossy, fungal matter.
Lovely.
And my form just keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking until you hear a small chirp, and before you on the stairs is a mushroom squirrel. And this mushroom squirrel is going to scamper up the stairs, and I would love to just make a go around, and I'd say the surrounding maybe 100 feet, if I can. I know it's going to take a couple minutes.
All right,
but
so you come up to the top of the stairs, first of all, and you are in the open sort of ruins of the Temple of Itar. And you see the space where you, in fact, encountered some of the skeletons and battled them, and so you trot across the floor of this temple to the opening, which sort of slopes down off of the large rock into the sort of semi-clear but semi-wooded area that this place sits in. It does not take long for you to notice that there is smoke from what appears to be a campfire, probably about 100 feet away in the distance. And so you scamper into a decent vantage point, not being seen, behind a rock, up onto the rock, and you look and you see Targhead and Prutha sitting around the campfire. Targhead's got a big stick, and he's just kind of poking the campfire with it. And you listen carefully, and you can hear Prutha talking to Targhead going, "How long are we going to have to sit here? How long could they possibly? They're probably dead. Can't we just go in? I mean, if we see anything, we can just turn and run. I mean, why do we have to sit here? Targhead kind of turns to Prutha and it's just like, orders are orders. We wait, just like we were told. And when they come out, we take the girl. End of story. Crick seems to think they're capable. They're gonna bring her out. They're not gonna die down there. We take the girl. Then we can resume operations and get back to work, okay? End of story. I don't want to hear it anymore. Quit complaining. Go hunt a rabbit or something and we'll cook it on the fire. And you see Prutha kind of get up, pulls up his pants because they're kind of hanging down. And he kind of grabs a hold of a big spear that's laying by the campfire and he walks off into the woods with the spear drawn. Targhead's by himself by the campfire.
All right.
Well, this is gonna be some fucking
Shit.
Squirrel Thyla, the mushroom squirrel, kind of just like looks at that whole scene, probably from a tree. So, Prutha is wandered off of the camp.
Yeah, Prutha kind of like took the spear and wandered off towards the edge of the woods.
Very well. I'm gonna make my way back to the rest of the group. You see the squirrel kind of scamper down the steps, and as it reaches the final step, you see it stands up on its hind legs, and the front half of it just kind of splits open, and a tiny Thyla just comes out and then turns to full size as the mushrooms kind of rot behind them. The orcs are here.
Oh?
Targhead and Prutha have made camp just outside. They plan on taking Lavinia as we exit. Prutha has just gone out on a little hunting trip, leaving Targhead alone at the camp. I don't know if that's something we want to take advantage of.
Is there a back door?
I think so.
I think we have one option here.
Agreed.
Put them down one by one.
Because that would buy us so much time.
In addition to that, those are two of Crix's top lieutenants. So A,
The rest of them are in the woods.
Truth.
one
Then
thing.
what?
Then we find a way to get the fuck out of here fast.
True.
You people have told me that you've run away from hordes of goblins before. Here's the thing.
Right.
Eliminating Targhead and Prutha is a double-bladed sword. Whatever you want to say. Whatever that expression is. Humans were weird.
Double-edged sword.
Indeed. On the one hand, that takes away two of Crix's top lieutenants, meaning that two of his strongest warriors are in the ground. On the other hand, that's Crix's top guys. So by ending them, we risk incurring his wrath. Alternatively,
We're already risking his wrath by taking her, and if we don't kill them,
The second
they'll notice.
They go inside and see the distillery is destroyed.
Our cover's blown.
The wrath is there.
We're fucked.
yeah.
So,
Grapes of many wraths.
So, shall we...
I say we test these boom boom balls and see how well they work.
agreed.
I like that theory.
Here we go.
Does he have a campfire going? Mm-hmm. And he's sitting close by?
Yeah.
Here, hang
I
on.
mean, come on.
If you throw it, I can... Hang on. I want to check the range. Okay. So, they're 100 feet away?
Yep.
Or you can just throw it into the fire, and he's sitting right there.
Yeah. But that would probably require some form of check to throw it that far, right? This is like a Tom Nady we're talking about. essentially.
Well, it's gonna be a ranged attack. You're
Yeah.
gonna be rolling to see if you can,
You can
land
hit
it
the
where
fire.
you want it. Yeah.
Right.
So within it's
With fire, detonates in 6 seconds. 20-foot radius.
I think it's worth giving a shot.
What was the damage on those again? Was it 8d6?
8d6 on... yeah. 8d6.
I do have a
It's a
sling.
dex save.
Yep.
You have a sling.
I do have a sling.
So the question is, do we light it and then throw it?
I think
Yeah.
light it, then throw it, and try and get it at Tarkhead's feet, or hit him with it, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
So light it, load it up into your sling, and then
We have 6 seconds.
Yep.
before it
We
goes
should
out.
light it while it's in the sling.
Yeah.
Probably.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Is a fine familiar an actual physical form? Does anyone know?
I believe the familiar is a physical form. What are you looking to accomplish here?
Are you gonna try and fucking...
Can it be a carrying mechanism?
Oh, kitty.
Wait. Wait, hang on. You can cast spells through your familiar, right?
Yes.
Because if you do that, what you can... your cat has wings, right? Does your familiar have a fly speed? You can literally have this fucking flying cat flying over the dude, drop a bomb on him, and you can have the cat...
the flight of the Valkyries?
Yeah.
The flight of the Valkyries?
This is amazing! Yeah, no. Have the cat...
fucking orcs with a cat.
Yes! You can have the cat drop the grenade on Tarkhead and then Eldritch blast it as it falls, setting it off with the blast,
Rude
right?
tinkles with excitement over this prospect.
There's a small wet spot
Yes.
in your armor.
Is that rust on
It
your arm?
doesn't-
I just happen to
wait,
see me.
it-
Patina.
How close was he saying to the fire?
How close was Tarkhead sitting to the fire?
How?
They're sitting around the fire. I mean, Target's got a stick
Time
that looks
check.
like it's about...
So-
He's there.
So avoid the step of having to hit a check for the Eldritch Blast. Just aim
have
for the
him.
fire.
Just have the
I
cat.
was just gonna have the kitty
Put it in
walk
the
up to
fire.
Tarkhead and just
No! Have it fly.
rub up against him a little bit.
No, I think having the flying cat drop the bomb
It's so funny.
is kind of
Dude,
great,
come
and
on.
also, that keeps your cat safe too.
It's a little bit more stealthy and has so much more comedic potential.
I don't know if the cat's strong enough.
How much does one of the bombs weigh?
Doesn't say. I don't.
It probably weighs less than a pound. It's probably
Yeah.
half a pound.
It's like a handheld throwy
It's a
thing.
grenade. It's a boom
I
bomb.
think the cat can probably hold it up.
Oh, easy.
I would say that if it were tied to the cat and the cat was capable of holding anything, like let's say a potion,
Yeah.
it would work. I would allow it.
So do we want to tie it to the cat and have the cat cut the cord
Cut it with its
with
claws.
its claws?
Or we can put a slip knot, so all the cat has to do is.
That's a good idea.
Well, the other thing is I can unsummon the cat. My idea was to
Oh,
have
just
it
have it-
attached.
Oh my god!
Unsummon it.
That works.
I mean, if you unsummon the cat,
We
then
could
the
have a
bomb
very
gets dropped.
lovely coyote moment where the cat just waves goodbye and then the grenade just falls on
That's
him.
all.
Can we make it fall in the back of his pants, perhaps?
But how would we be able to set it off?
I
if
think
it's
we're
his
getting a
asshole?
little granular in the
It
detail,
needs
but
to get
sure.
set on fire.
Yeah. So in my humble opinion, I think the best possible plan is having the cat fly over the fire, drop the bomb on the fire, so that the fire ignites it, and then boom, Tarkhead takes damage.
If I'm not mistaken in the description of that, there is a 6-second fuse time.
Correct.
Exactly.
Right.
So
It's
if we
a round.
drop it
That's a
in
round.
so if we drop it into the fire, then Tarkhead could have 6 seconds of what the fuck.
Not even, because that's just fuse time for the fire to spread from the
problem
tip
is
of
that
the fuse.
Says the fire expert. Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
So
If
it
you-
would ignite the entire fuse at the same fucking time. It would practically be instantaneous.
So I'll tell you what I'll do in that case.
The cat's
Given the
gonna be a
randomness of the
distraction, too.
dropping of the grenade, I will roll a 1d6, and whatever it lands on is the amount of time that fuse has. How about that?
That's fair.
I think that doesn't really make chemical sense.
But it makes sense within the world of the game.
Don't
So
argue with the DM.
I would say that that's
there you
entirely
go. Bringing
fair.
physics into
It could be a
again.
1.
Sure.
Exactly. We're leaving it up to chance in the true
Sure.
spirit of Dungeons and Dragons.
Sure.
So we've got the flying cat, we've
Right.
got the hand grenade, we've got the D6, we've got the plan. Let's fucking drop the cat bomb.
The holy hand grenade?
Count to 1.
Bring out the feline hand grenade.
Meow meow boom boom.
All right.
Flutter.
So are we gonna
Flap,
tie
flap,
the
meow,
bomb
meow, boom,
to the cat? Because I have rope.
All right, Worm, come here.
This is good. We got to intensify this music a little
This is
bit.
fucking awesome.
This is gonna be such a great TikTok, you guys.
Fruit comes and takes out the boom boom ball. Let's hang it so that the fuse is face down.
Okay.
All right. So fuse is face down, tied to the kitty.
Yeah. So, do we want to do it as a necklace or like around its belly? Because I think around its belly could be really, really cute, especially
Yeah.
with its wings.
That's
Yeah,
true.
the fan art's gonna go crazy.
Okay. Around the belly.
Around the belly.
Okay.
Under the pouch.
The primordial pouch.
Under the primate.
And how's it gonna release? Slip? Are we doing a slip knot or?
No, I think Brandhorn
Yeah.
was going to unsummon the kitty.
Yeah.
You'll
like
have to
that.
account for velocity.
The four of you,
That's a European kitty.
Horizontal.
I'm assuming
Just drop the
Or you're just
bomb.
gonna pause over it and then just.
the four of you are crouched inside the ruins of the temple.
Yeah, this is
Yes.
a whispered,
Yes.
hushed conversation
Okay.
about a cat bomb.
So you do manage to attach
I did
this.
not tinkle quietly with excitement.
I didn't think so.
Thank you.
The pitter patter of droplets through armor lands on the soil around you as you tie the grenade to the kitty's belly.
This is gonna be great.
Brandmorn, would you like to describe how you deal with your familiar in this situation?
All right, so how far away is the campfire?
About 100
100
feet.
feet.
About 100 feet. That's like fucking perfect. So everyone, I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'm going to focus on the kitty cat right now. So if anything happens, I don't know. You can't get a hold of me. So I'm going to go into the cat's vision, and I'm gonna we're gonna test this right now. The kitty's gonna try to take off.
So you get inside the cat and you
Yeah.
give a flap of
yeah.
these supposed cat wings that you have. And
Little fey wings.
They're
little
bat
fey
wings?
wings, and
Bat
you
wings?
are able to lift up off the ground with a little bit more effort than
Okay.
normal because you do have the added
Gotta-
weight,
yeah, all right.
but we'll allow it.
Maybe the flying speed's reduced a little bit, but
And you lift up into the air comfortably.
so I'm gonna start heading in the direction of the campfire.
It's a beautiful sight because in the dim light of the ruins of the Sanctum of Itar, you look out amongst all the greenery of the forest dappled with sunlight, and you see this striped cat.
This ginger
Orange cat float up against the beautiful woodland green backdrop, grenade strapped to its underbelly.
Is it swinging back and forth?
As she climbs up high, relatively high, and out over the edge of the drop-off around the temple, slowly working her way over.
What's the fire looking like? Is Starkhead kind of sitting on a log or something? Or?
Yeah, Targhead actually there's a whole series of stumps and a couple of logs that are spread out, and Targhead's sitting on the log, posture's bad, he looks frustrated, he's got the stick and he's poking the fire, and there's a decent fire burning.
I'm gonna come up from the back side.
Of course.
Starkhead. Not,
Of course.
least expected.
Yeah.
Okay. Targhead doesn't
flying
notice you
over
flying
time.
in because you're absolutely silent. Plus, there's woodland noise, the occasional bird, and, you fly in. You see the sort of bald head of Targhead below you as he's poking at the fire, and you come in just over the campfire. I am going to just roll a stealth check for you. Do you have any bonus for that? Why don't you roll the stealth check for me, and I'm just gonna roll a perception check for Target. Yeah, I
I
lost.
don't know what the modifiers are for a fey cat.
I don't
but
think it
it's
matters.
A 14.
You got it. You're fine. You're completely
Lovely.
Let's
unseen.
go.
You're floating through the air.
I'm thinking of the airplane sounds from the wall.
We're gonna skim
what sound?
From
right
the
over
wall.
top of Target's
I'm thinking of the
head.
airplane sound.
Okay, so you skim right over his head.
Right over his head. We're going for the fire.
Look, Mommy.
We're gonna
there's a
drop
lifeline up in the
close to the
sky.
fire. I want to get this grenade pretty close to the fire.
Uh-huh.
We're going to risk singeing the kitty hairs just a little bit.
As you come in over Targhead's head, he of course now can
Now he
glimpse
sees
you.
you.
And he kind of looks up and he's like, "Oh, hello, kitty." And you come in over the fire and
We're right over the fire.
you're right over the fire.
Kitty cat's going to meow a little bit. Meow. Fucking poof.
And you're going to just basically
Yep.
unsummon the
it's-
cat.
Yeah, I was looking. It's an action or a bonus action. I don't remember. Action. You can see through the eyes. It's somewhere in there. As an action, you can temporarily dismiss the feeling familiar to a pocket dimension.
Okay. So just as Targhead looks up and spots this floating kitty, and in a moment of sort of boredom, daydream surprise, he's like, "Oh, hello, kitty." And you meow, and then boom, there's just now remaining in front of him for a moment of pregnant pause. This grenade with twine falls into the fire, immediately igniting the fuse for 4 seconds. And he kind of like looks for a minute, and I just want to kind of get a wisdom reaction from Targhead just to see, because this is kind of
fucking roll
almost
a nat
around.
20,
So I'm going to roll this with disadvantage.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to roll this.
Did you see the
That's a
frightened
19
orcs?
and a 15.
Fuck.
Alright.
So in that second, Targhead gets up to move and begins to turn to run, because he realizes that there's now this spark
Right.
in the fire. And there's a DC on that dexterity saving throw. Is that correct?
I didn't write it down.
Shit. I can see if I have it in my notes.
Boom, boom, balls.
Did you see the
I just
floating
have,
cat?
Lit with fire, detonates in 6 seconds, 20-foot radius, dex save, 8d6 on a fail, half on the save.
The dex save is I have 13 here. All right, I'm rolling a dex save. Oh, that's a 9.
He fucking trips.
Nice.
So as it falls into the fire, you see Target sort of press on the stick to sort of pick his massive form up. He's like, "Oh, fuck." And he turns, and all of a sudden there is this, for a moment, you see this flash from inside the Sanctum of Itar, the temple. It's just like this, and then it's just like, and I mean, the explosion is actually... For people of a world like you that have not really seen the development of such a thing like this before, this is a staggering explosion. The fire ring, the logs around the fire are all dislodged. They're just like this, up into the air. Dirt, grass, and flaming charcoal are thrown into the air. And you see Tarkhead's entire body just lift up off the ground, and he gets thrown about 10 feet in the direction he was about to run. 8d6 of damage from that attack. Would you like to roll that? Since that was your drop?
I have spare d6s.
I need at least
1, 2, 3.
5 more.
He doesn't
Here's
get a
the
little bit
gore.
of gore?
I need
What's
one.
that?
Here, I got
Did you get a little bit of gore?
Well, we're going to see what the damage was.
Right.
I want to see
A little
how
to the
this-
right. There you go.
He gets obliterated on that.
That's actually nice.
Okay, 16. Oh god, I can't see. 16, 26, 20, 26, 29, 32, 33 points of boom boom damage.
33 points of damage. I'm not going to lie. That's a lot. Target kind of gets thrown through the air, and you see significant damage as this blast rips through him, throwing him into the grass about 10 to 12 feet away. As he hits the ground, he kind of like pushes himself up and kind of begins to shake it off, and you can see he's really hurt.
I'm going to cast Firebolt at him.
I wanted to shoot.
Okay, so I would say this. Let's
Should we say that this is a surprise round?
I would say this could be a surprise round for sure, because you came out of nowhere, so I'm going to give you the surprise round on this.
It's going to be a surprise round at distance, though, I think, because we wouldn't have been able to...
Correct.
Well,
and
he was
it's not going to be... I mean, I would assume you all probably would have held some kind of action. But
Yeah.
remember, he's 100 feet away from you.
I have 120 range
On the firebolt?
on the firebolt.
I have a 80-foot range on my short bow, so
Watch it
as the right after the explosion happened, after I heard the boom, I was gonna run up and try and get at 80 feet at range, and then take a shot at him,
Okay.
which is risky. I know.
Plus now
okay.
he's only, what, like 90 feet away because he blew 10 feet?
But I think in a surprise round, do you get a full action, movement, and bonus action, or do you just get the
Or
attack?
is it 6 seconds of turmoil and us just fucking shit up, or is it just the action? Because if it's just the action, because my short bow, the disadvantage range is 320 feet, so I could
would let you fire it with disadvantage.
I'll do that
Okay.
from my hiding spot.
roll
Gladly.
the attack on the firebolt and
Lovely.
roll the attack on the
The short bow with this.
That is
bow.
a 22.
the 22 will hit.
All right, lovely.
Yeah.
How many points of
no.
damage did you do to Tarkhead
Let's see.
with the blast? 33?
It was
33.
I'm gonna say that's only a 10.
10's not going to hit.
It's 4 points of damage.
4 points of damage. All right. So that firebolt does sort of connect just as he's trying to get up. You know, he's recovering. He's smoldering. He's actually got parts of his clothing and armor are like smoldering. And then, boom, another firebolt slams into him. He stumbles. He's in really rough shape. Just as another arrow goes over him, he knows he's under attack right now. Let's roll for initiative.
Okay, all my rolls on this die have been balls so far, so I'm not gonna do that.
Nice.
Motherfucker. It's rude. What?
I'll take that.
What is that? Clerics in the back are okay.
All right.
But I had a thing.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna,
I'm sorry.
with the boom, boom, boom.
Anybody 20 to 25?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
21.
Nice.
21. So we got Bran at 21. We got dirty 20 on Cersei.
Lovely.
Dirt Tay.
Anybody 15
You know
to 20?
what's dirtier than this 20? My dreams about you.
10 to 15.
10.
We got Thrud at a 10.
I
what'd you
had
get
a
there, Thyla?
13.
13.
Sorry.
And we are actually going to employ Lavinia in this situation, who
Fucking
comes in
let's
at a
go.
nat 1.
Okay, false
Not
start.
cool, not cool, not cool.
Pick that up,
Not
will you,
cool
dear?
at all.
All right, Branmorn. Branmorn, you unsummon the cat. You are first to act in this. Oh, by the way, you know what I forgot to do?
Uh-oh.
I really want to do this, but that was the
Hey!
Yes!
explosion in there. I'm sorry. A little
It's a
late.
good
That
explosion.
was the
I think we
echo.
should rename the cat
Yeah, that was
Michael
it.
Bay.
Was echoing.
What did you
I
just
think
say?
we should rename the cat Michael Bay.
Wow. Anyway, Brad,
Can't all be winners.
I
Yeah.
think.
I
I think I'm gonna run up to the side of the temple.
Yep.
Would I be within 90 feet of him now? If I get to the side of the temple?
Without breaking out an entire battle map, I'll say
if
fine.
I'll run 30 feet. I'm just saying, from where I was at, like at the top of the stairs, 30 feet, does that get me within 90?
Yeah, for sure.
Alright. First gonna cast Hex on him.
Lovely.
Then we're just gonna, spiral up a little Eldritch Blast and...
Yup.
Roll this one. Oh, that's gonna fucking miss.
Oh, rip.
That's a 10 hit.
A 10. The Eldritch Blast sort of warps around and misses him completely.
Well, balls. We'll say the Hex, he has disadvantage on straight checks.
Okay. Cersei,
Alright.
you're up.
So, I'd assume right after Cersei casts her first firebolt, Branmorn jumps straight into action. And with her hand still out, she's sort of gonna take her left foot, step forward, and go into another firebolt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double attack. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Doctor Strange.
Double whip.
Oh, and that is a... Let's see. That's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20 will hit.
Holy shit.
Lovely.
Let's go.
High rolls today.
Cersei knows what she's doing.
Very nice.
Seriously. 3 points of damage.
3 points of damage. Okay, a second firebolt, one after another. Eldritch Blast. You can see all of these arcing attacks. That one is actually really going to lay in hard. Okay,
Alright.
it almost looks like Tarkhead's starting to stumble at this
Nice.
point. And so as he kind of turns and looks up. He lets out this bellowing scream. He's like, Prutha! Like yells for Prutha, and then pulls his great axe off of his back and just begins charging at you. Unfortunately, he's not going to have the movement to get there, but what you do see is across on the edge of the forest, you also see Prutha, battle axe in hand, great axe in hand, charging across the one opening.
no.
So
We got this.
they're coming.
All right.
What do you got for me?
Good for Prutha.
Who's up next?
I'm sorry, that's
it?
going to put us on Thyla. My
Her.
bad.
Okay, so
Throw your on deck.
Thyla comes up to the same kind of plane that Bran and Cersei are on, and as they approach, their left hand kind of begins to swirl with this necrotic fungal energy, the pigpen cloud kind of congealing around Thyla's hand, and I hold it out, and is Targhead within 120 feet of me at this point?
Absolutely.
The residue of the pigpen cloud in this necrosis surges forward in the shape of a hand as I cast Chill Touch. So it's going to be a ranged spell attack. Let's fucking go. That's going to be a 22 to
This
hit.
hand wraps around Targhead's plate armor and just kind of like penetrates right into it. You kind of see the chill touch go down into and under the platelets of the plate armor.
That's good. Okay. So that's going to be a D8 of necrotic damage, and it cannot regain hit points until the start of my next turn.
Fair.
Lovely.
3 points of necrotic damage.
As this energy from this ethereal hand rocks in and disappears under the plate, you see Targhead's whole body sort of go full on erect posture, turns this like bluish color as all the life drains out from underneath his skin, and he just kind of goes face down into the dirt mid-charge, dropping the great axe into the ground.
Nice.
I think as he dies, Thyla is still standing in that kind of handout position, and as like they kind of like feel the shape of a heart in their palm, they just crush it.
Nice. All right.
kaput.
though.
Through
Doesn't fuck around.
Get fucked.
How far is Pruthar?
probably about 300 feet.
Hey.
Oh my god.
What is this? The fucking whatever house fight?
What?
The little inn we were at for the festival.
Oh, remember
When
that?
we were outside.
And then everybody was on the other end of the field.
Yeah, and it was like 3 or 4 rounds of combat of I'm sprinting.
3 or 4 rounds of running.
I remember that.
Sprinting.
I'm running.
That was when I was playing Breck. Holy shit.
Who's that?
Fucking
Trude is going to.
Oh, that's Colin.
Who the fuck is Colin?
Who the fuck is Colin?
Uh-oh. Oh, shit.
Oh! He brought out the physical copy!
I love my physical copies.
Physical copies are great.
Come on.
Books
I
are
love
coming out.
Books are real.
I love a good physical copy. Read man books.
Thruid takes Tyr off her back and just says, fuck it, and runs and charges at Pruthar.
Let's
Okay.
go!
So we got one booking it across the field.
So there's like this large lumbering mass, like just thumping into the ground every step it takes, and then boom, 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 clink, 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 clink,
This is-
boom, boom,
it's-
boom, clink, clink, clink.
It's totally like that one shot from Battle of the Bastards where you just see the back of Jon Snow and everything coming at him.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah. So Thruid's
that was a
closing the
great
distance.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. Okay.
And I would like to hold an action of guiding bolt.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay. All right. So as you're doing that, Lavinia has also run up into your general line of
Love it.
all of
Love
you
it.
standing there, and she is going to charge. All right. So she is full out running right behind Thruid, and as she's doing so, she's going to sort of raise her hands up in the air above her head, and all of a sudden you see the sky above this woodland area just crack and open up, and there's this orange glow inside, and all of a sudden these sheets, these full-on sheets of flame just start coming down and hitting the field like
Trude, what are you doing?
It's not me.
No, it's way ahead of you. This is
I like what she's
200
got going
and something.
on.
This is really far out into this field. So these, and so the, it all is sort of radiating down in the general area right in front of where Prutha is charging.
Glad we didn't fight her.
And that's going to require a dexterity saving throw on the part of Prutha. Oh, and that's a 5. So that is an absolute failure.
Sorry.
And that is going to be a fair bit of damage. I need D10s. Please give me D10s.
What's D10s?
All the
D10s.
D10s you have.
D10,
Todrick.
D10.
Wait, hold on. Let me collect more for you.
I need 2. 2, I need 1 more. 1 more for a total of...
So many D10s.
Holy shit! That's going to be 5, 6, 7... Oh my god, 10, 27, 37. These sheets are raining down as Prutha's mid-run, and you all of a sudden see in the midst of this, Prutha just starts slamming on the brakes and trying to backpedal, kicking up mud as she runs full-on into this attack. Fire raining down from the sky, and it just sears her like that piece of meat you left on the grill overnight and forgot was there because you were just going to cook it a little bit longer, and she just blackens, ripping right through the plate mail armor, blackening it, and she just kind of like mid-run, face down into the fire, smoldering through it. You slam on the brakes, and you just kind of like turn and look at Lavinia.
One round of combat.
She just like wastes him.
Wow.
All right.
She did, just so you know, the damage total on that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 55, 57 points of damage.
I think that could have also just flat out killed Thyla.
Thrud stops
Yeah.
and
We were gonna kill her.
look. Shut up.
That shut up was so perfect.
Just looks at her and goes, "I like the cut of your jib, girly pop."
She kind of like takes a finger and puts it up on her horn, and she's like, and she turns around and kind of like with total confidence just starts walking back to the rest of the party.
Okay. We just made a lot of fucking noise.
She's
Yeah.
like, I think we need to go.
Yeah.
Can
I
we
agree.
Or should we clean the fuck up?
can we rush loot?
Yes.
Rush loot.
I would like to rush over to Targhead and take anything valuable.
I'm close
Okay.
to Prutha, so I'm gonna
Little rage loot.
rage.
Yeah.
Rage loot them both.
I would
Which way
love
are we going
anything.
out of
I don't know.
I'm looking specifically for things that look magical in nature.
Okay.
If we go back to the
And
rock wall,
also
we have to go past the car, right?
anything that just looks cool. Is there
Okay.
any check that you want me to roll?
Yeah, why don't you roll an investigation check for me? And
Same for Thrud.
Yep.
You find charred. fucking
That's
nothing.
gonna be a 13.
Dick.
A 13?
Yeah.
Not hard to do at all.
And
So,
burn.
wait, you were taking out Targhead or Prutha?
Targhead.
I was
Targhead,
going
okay.
with Prutha.
And you were going for Prutha. Okay, on Targhead, you do find 2 small glass vials strapped underneath the plate mail armor near the belt.
Mine.
One is a bluish white colored liquid that swirls inside of the container. The other one looks like a healing potion to you.
Nice.
Okay, so the first one, you're not sure what that is right off the bat, but you do pluck both of those off. You also find a coin purse
I'm taking that.
with 48 gold pieces in that.
I'm taking those.
Okay. Do you want to take the great axe?
No.
It's not really magical.
I don't think a great axe is good for my character.
Okay.
Okay,
On
so
Prutha,
2 potions and 48 GP.
yeah, 48 GP. On Prutha, you find 64 gold pieces.
Okay.
And there's also another pouch on Prutha that looks like it has some kind of dried, preserved meats in it in small
Pocket
scraps,
bacon?
like some
Pocket
kind of
meat.
snack. They don't appear to be magical, but they do appear to be nicely made, like small provisions.
Does it smell extra good because it's been warmed?
Actually, it does.
I will take that then.
Okay.
Second breakfast.
Nice. Sorry, I'm just keeping an
What-
eye
how
out
much
for
gold?
any movement nearby.
Why don't you roll general perception check for me?
63, I think.
What'd you say, Cruz?
60
How much gold?
something.
60.
63
do that,
gold.
something.
I can check.
I think it was 63.
hold on.
63,
I had it in my head.
67.
It's 67 gold. My bad. My bad. I had it wrong, I think, both times. 67 gold.
Okay.
Let's go back to this net. Yeah.
Druid's getting back to being Sugar Mama again.
All right.
That's a 16.
A 16? You currently don't see any movement. You're scanning the area in general. As a matter of fact, you did notice when the explosion happened, any wildlife that was nearby was just gone.
Gone.
So it's
Lovely.
very silent right now. So it's easy to get a bead on what's going on around you.
Lovely.
Your ears are ringing, though.
Yeah.
This was like a real concussion.
Gotcha. Okay.
Where do we go?
The fuck away. Should we try hiding these
We should
bodies
try and
briefly?
make our way. No, we should try and make our way back to Corey, but we should stay off of the roads.
I have a book to pick up.
Lavinia looks at you and says, agreed. She's like, Steecrux Tower is southeast of Pills. Corey would be an excellent first stop for
We
us.
go to Corey. We stock up on any supplies we might need. Do we go to Pills first or straight to Steecrux?
No, I think stopping in Pills would be imperative because that's going to be Corey. Pills from Corey is at least a day and a half travel.
Then let's do it.
To the numbskull.
Indeed.
Right. I think Cersei has a book to pick up there.
I do. I'm very excited.
Yes.
Here. So, Todd, just
Yeah.
to confirm, so I have the potion of healing that we found in the dungeon, and then I have one other from Tarkhead.
Yes.
Is it the same kind? It's just a regular healing potion?
It's a regular healing potion.
Okay,
Correct.
so then I'm going to increase that quantity to 2.
Okay. Fair.
Great. We love to see it.
Any ability to cast Identify on the other potion from anyone, or is
I don't have Identify.
do you want to do an Arcana check?
I would love to do an Arcana check. I'm proficient in that. Fucking balls. It's only a 5.
That's not going to give it up, but it is pretty.
Great. I'll look at it some other time. Or I can also ask Lavinia if she knows what it is at some point.
Oh, shiny.
I'll do that later.
Okay.
Boom balls. Boom balls.
All right. So let's mark off one of our boom balls.
I did.
Okay. Cool.
Lovely.
We have
I have
Miles
5
boom balls.
boom balls.
Fucking awesome move.
That was
That was really great.
That was intense.
You know,
That was very nice.
We made
Fastball
jokes
special.
about my dice rolling.
I think
fast one.
now
Yeah.
would
I used
probably be
up my
a
luck
good
getting
time
here,
for us to
but-
take our break.
Break
All right.
time.
Since we
Awesome.
just kind of finished that battle, sound good?
Sounds great.
Sure.
All right. We will be back shortly.
Oh.
Okay, we are back. Now,
We're back.
yeah. So I'm just gonna throw that in. I mean, we don't have to be back, but
I think we're back.
are we
We're
ready?
back.
Are we ready?
Oh,
to be
so
back?
back.
Are we ready
We're
to
so
be back?
Yeah!
We've been off for a while, you
I'm
know.
ready
we,
to be
we
back.
snacked and
Yeah.
we did things.
Back.
Whoa.
Like this thing.
Okay, so the party just defeated Prutha and Targhead in an amazing battle. You guys are figuring out how to skedaddle down to Corey, staying off the road. That was the general idea.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Weren't we gonna stop somewhere first?
Well, we were going to Corey. Corey is our first
Corey's
stop.
your first stop.
Oh.
And you're honestly only about 2 hours outside of Corey. This was a relative, or maybe it's about 3 hours outside of Corey. So it's a relatively quick trip. Now it is daytime. It's probably a little bit in the afternoon, so you're able to off the road make it back to Corey. I just want you to roll a either nature or stealth check for me because I want you to sort of navigate your way.
That kind of got stuck in there.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Y'all,
Wow.
I'm kind of happy with this.
Pitch. Nobody got that joke.
What?
Never mind.
So that's a 3 on a nat 1.
Cool.
22.
22?
Yeah.
8.
Wow, you guys rolled fantastically.
I actually rolled higher than somebody else in the party for a stealth check.
Multiple people.
Team
I
TH name is kind of
Inverse
popping off.
stealthed.
I mean, I only rolled a 10.
I will just
Still,
tell
from
you.
Through, that's pretty good.
I will just tell you that the only reason I'm having you roll this is not for any sort of direct encounter, but for my own devices.
Great.
Thanks for letting me know your rolls. 3 hours later, you arrive in Corey.
Lovely.
The town of Corey, as you know, is familiar to you, and you roll into town. As well, Thyla's certainly a familiar face in the town of Corey. The rest of you are not necessarily.
Indeed.
But you make it to Corey unscathed. I'm assuming you have business here. What do you want to do?
Yeah, how many days was it since we left?
I think it was a total of 2.
2? Okay.
Because did you have a single long rest inside the dungeon? I know you had
Yes.
at least one.
We did.
Did you have 2?
Single.
And we had one.
I think we got one before we went in.
Okay.
Yeah, we stayed in Corey for the night, then left in the morning.
Is that when we
Slept
hooked
in the
up with
dungeon.
Trix?
What?
Didn't we take a long rest
And what time
with
of day
Trix's
is
place?
it?
That was outside of Corey.
Right now it's evening.
Crix's
It's probably
place was
around
before
6 o'clock.
Corey.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
We went
Yeah.
Crix,
All right.
Corey, dungeon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How long are we planning on staying here?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I think,
I'd like to beat knees to wherever she'd like to go.
Yeah.
indeed. I think, is there anything that we need in the city?
I would like to stop off at the library and see if they're ready with my book.
Yeah, and I think it's been at least a day, so.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
has.
he requested 3 days. But
I think it was 2 to 3 days. I'm
Yeah.
looking back in my notes here just to see.
Oh, it's in my
Just checking
phone.
a few things.
it's in my phone hole.
We're eating palapa.
I'll eat your
Mellow?
apple.
Yeah. I have palapa written.
Huh.
The crusty palapa.
Oh yeah, it's much further ahead than that. Here we go. Yeah, it was 2 days.
Okay. Lovely.
So you should be in good shape for that.
Yes. I would like to go to the library. Would anyone care to join? No? I'm fine
I'm
going.
not
by.
a book person, but I'll come with you.
Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
All right. So the 2 of you work your way over to the library. What are the rest of you doing? That would be Lavinia, Thyla, and Thrud.
The guy that you guys bought the dog from,
Jodic?
yeah,
Ours?
was he affiliated with Velvet Sky? Or was he an independent?
wait.
He was an
No.
independent entity, right?
That was guard. Wait a minute. That was the guy that I sold the
the package that,
from Dickie the Wicked.
yeah. And he was at the Numbskull, right?
Yes. Which is
Okay.
kind of what I was thinking about heading to.
So Thyla's gonna.
When can we wait our dog in?
Here, could I
It was every day, 8 days.
Somewhere in there.
take a minute? Could I try and make an Arcana check to see? Because I'm curious about this like bluish potion that I've got.
Yep.
I would love, or I might go to Lavinia and say, I found this on Targhead. Have you seen anything familiar, or?
She plucks it from your hands and she takes a look at it and turns it around in the light of the fading evening and spins it a little bit. She's like, no. Unfortunately, no. It's not familiar to me.
Interesting.
Cersei, you make your way over to the library with Branmorn, and you head inside, and you immediately see behind one of the main desks in the library, you see Harley, who is the woman who initially agreed to look at the book, do some light repair and some research in the book for you.
Lovely.
She spots you walking in, and she kind of gives you
a wave.
a nod. And as you approach, she's like, oh, good. Glad you returned. I spent considerable time with the book this morning.
Oh, wonderful.
And I have some thoughts and some theories. Do you want to step back into one of the private rooms where we can discuss?
I would love to.
Okay. So she leads you probably 30 or 40 feet in through the stacks.
Right.
And on the far wall, there's a series of, ornate doors. And she opens one of the doors, and there looks like there's a comfortable reading room inside this space with some nicely made chairs. Nothing too opulent, but nicely made chairs. And then there's a table in the center of the room. She's like, take a seat. Tea, some kind of refreshment or something, a water that I could get for you?
Yes, please. Actually, do you have wine?
No, not in the library. I'm sorry.
Understood. Tea would suffice.
Wonderful.
Thank
I'll
you.
fetch the book as well. Make yourselves comfortable.
Thank you.
And she shuts the door and she leaves.
Damn it.
A few moments later, she comes back, and she has a pot of tea and a couple of small cups. She sets them out on the table, and she begins to pour. And she's got a small leather box, which she kind of opens up, and with gloves, she produces the book and lays it out on the table. She's like, this is a really rather interesting text that you have here. You didn't seem to know much about it when you dropped it off.
No, but I also got the sense that it was rather interesting.
I've shown it to a couple of the other scholars here inside of the library. And one of the things you have to remember is that most of us, the books that we study have known histories or connections to other books that have known histories.
Right.
So oftentimes there's a way to trace a book's lineage through different modes of scholarship and map the book back in time. What were the references that were used to make a book? And so we can go back through those books and generally get an idea of where an author was drawing from. Your book doesn't do that. Your book is more journal-like. And it seems that the further into the book we go, the less we seem to understand. The thing about it is this. There are references in this journal to things we've never heard of before.
Like what?
Well, for example, there are a number of references to what appear to be modalities of time, but not from the standpoint of structure or any kind of mapping system, but more the travel through time. Which, to my knowledge, other than through some rather high-level wielders of the arcane arts, is not something I'm able to do or know anybody that's able to do. There are also references to dates in this book that are a number of years into the future. I am curious, though, about one thing. When you left the book off, we wrote out a small card and gave you a receipt for that, and we kept a copy of that receipt for ourselves.
Yes.
Your name is Cersei, correct?
Yes.
I want to point something out to you. And she opens up the book to a couple of places where you see some very lightly tabbed bookmarks in there. And she's got a couple of references in there, and she says, over and over again, there are references in this book to a name. And at first I just thought this must be the author, the person that's referenced in the journal. She's like, but a little bit of numeric rearranging of these letters spells your name. Oh! Now, it wasn't me who discovered that, so I don't want to make myself out to sound like I'm some kind of mathematical genius, but one of the other librarians in the place noticed that the name seemed to be sort of not anonymous necessarily, but it seemed to have a kind of didn't seem real, and so they noticed your name on the card and noticed some similarities, and it appears that you're referenced in this book.
Who?
Me? I mean, the name is just an anagram. That could just be coincidence,
Perhaps.
right?
Perhaps.
This is interesting. I mean, I just stumbled upon it in a town. I don't see how I could be correlated.
Well, it's, well within my range of belief that sometimes things find us. We don't always necessarily find things. It's entirely possible you were meant to have this text. And I won't lie, as a scholar of books and writing, I often will try to evaluate things based on the rarity or the value, or if we were to cull part of the collection to raise money for the library to keep it going, what could we sell a book for to a collector? I couldn't even begin to assign a value to this book because I have absolutely no point of reference. It seems to be from a time that hasn't necessarily happened yet, so that either makes it incredibly valuable or one heck of a good hoax.
Interesting. I knew there was something disturbing about that book. I had this deep-rooted feeling like I was unsettled by it. I don't know. It felt... I have an academic background. I was raised in the academies, and my parents were scholars in Elder Grove, so I'm familiar with a lot of different texts. I don't know, the writing style just felt really familiar. Did it feel familiar to
Did it feel familiar to me? Not in the slightest.
No.
No. I will often pick up a book to read and notice that it might be in the style of this author or that, or the prose of this particular bard or poet.
Right.
But in this case, this seemed like more of a cold journal that was more interested in the sort of mechanisms and workings of these time structures, like I told you.
Understood.
Who?
All right.
Who?
You mentioned
Moti.
mages.
Yeah.
Mentioned mages that do this sort of thing.
No, what I was talking about was that in the event that this content is actual, I would say that the only people that would be knowledgeable about doing such a thing, like traveling through time, would be, I've heard stories and legends about people that are capable of interplanar travel or potentially traveling into time, but...
Are there any resources within the city that might be a good lead to see if they might know anything about this?
In the town of Corey.
Or anywhere.
I think this might be the work of maybe some of the scholars or the religious experts or some of the science experts that might be in some of the larger cities. I mean, while Corey does have a relatively robust economy and some good people. Now, that being said, it is possible that I could put some contacts out there and see if I could find someone. We do have a pretty good library network. It might take a little bit of time. Will you be in town for a while?
Not for long, unfortunately. But
let me work on this. It is a really interesting text to me, and I'd like to find out more. So if you can work your way back here at some point, find me.
okay.
I hope to see you again, and maybe we can find out more about this thing.
Do you mind if I just take the book for myself for now? And
It is your book.
yeah, and maybe if I come back and you find any connections, we could discuss that.
By all means. As a matter of fact, we've hand copied some of the pages just so that we have reference point where things are interesting. So we do have some of our own references. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Please. Thank you.
Good luck with this. Please let us know if you find anything. We're absolutely curious.
Thank you. I appreciate this a great deal.
All right. How was the tea?
It's fantastic.
Wonderful. Well, if it's okay with you, I must leave you now.
Yeah, of course.
I'm
Thank
sure
you
you can
again.
see yourselves out
And thank you for the tea.
anytime.
All right.
Be well. Safe travels.
Seriously, gonna peel this fuck out. Just book in hand. I did grab the book. Yes.
Yes, you did grab the book.
lovely.
Are we
I think
Yeah.
working our way out of this establishment?
Yeah.
Is that a handwritten journal?
It looks like it. Yeah, I think so. And
Does it match your handwriting?
I mean, I haven't written this.
What does your handwriting look like? Can you write something for us?
I guess we could just pop back in. I could show you guys. I don't think this really looks like me, but yeah. We'll pop back into the library real quick.
does anybody just have like paper?
Yeah,
I don't
you'd be
have
able to
any.
source that pretty quickly in a
Yeah.
library just to jot some notes down.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we'll go find a place to do that, something to write. And I'm just gonna start writing. Hello, my name is Circe. I hail from Elder Grove. I am a sorcerer.
And the two of you are now, or are you there, Thrud? Or okay, so you're looking at this.
Right.
Do a perception check on me.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna open up the book next
And
to
lay
it.
it beside it.
And it is a 4.
Could I
It was
also
cocked.
run
We
a
need to get you a drink.
perception check on it
Why don't you?
to compare?
Is it safe to say that so if these three are in the library, that Lavinia and I are just kind of chilling outside?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's an 18.
an 18.
Yeah.
Can we go in the other room?
No, fucking motherfucker!
God
asked the
fucking
question.
damn it! What in the river song fuck is going on with this?
the river song?
Whispers.
Fucking whispers,
Hey,
dude.
whispers.
Grrr.
It was your idea.
I know.
Okay, so public safety announcement: the gummy lightsabers with the dill salt and a little bit of the popcorn and the nerd and maybe a Reese's Pieces all in the same bite is either magical or terrifying.
Fuck directly off.
There's one more.
You should just do it, man. Get in there. Roll it around in there. Roll Charlie around in there. Put that. Yep. You got it. Get a nerd death in there afterwards. Yeah.
All right, we are back. We're back.
That was the most awkward thing.
Anything?
Yeah. Not good.
Fruit?
Sorry.
Anything fruit?
I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank. I'm a little fuzzy. I don't have my readers on me this evening.
I mean, I definitely haven't written this unless I could inherit handwriting from my parents.
Does it look like your parents can read?
I don't. I didn't really read much of their work. But I don't know. I also don't think handwriting is inheritable. So I don't know.
Always love that one. You're in a library. You're having a moment. It's appropriate.
Spirit kind of looks at Cersei a little bit cross. Suspects a little something.
I don't know. This is weird. I just don't like that she said
Backs up.
there's a reference to my name in there.
I would be a little unsettled.
Yeah. Can we just go get a drink, please?
Sure.
While they're in there, I wanted to just kind of find a bench outside of the library and invite Lavinia to sit.
Okay.
Some shit
I'd
went down.
like to pick your brain about something, if you don't mind.
That's fine. What is it?
You're adept in the art of necromancy, so to speak.
Necromancy directly? It's debatable, but yeah, maybe a little bit.
When you're practicing such an art, is there a specific feeling or degree of power or emotion that you need to channel?
Do you mean when I'm actually engaged in the art, do I purposefully pull from a section of my being, or is there something that is a resulting kind of... I'm not quite sure I understand the question.
In a sense, I guess I'm just trying to gain a better understanding of it, because my link to the resonant gift, I almost feel sometimes, teeters along the pyramid of life, death, and undeath, if that makes sense.
Well, I've found that, my gifts, just in terms of the necromantic gifts, tend to be more sort of prescribed, let's say. They are learned things that I'm capable of using, and they seem to be within the column or within the limitations. Are you okay?
I accidentally dumped out so many of these, and I was just trying to be as quiet as possible.
It wasn't working at all.
No, it wasn't.
There was so much sprinkle. There was
to
so
minimize
much
my
sprinkle.
crinkle,
God damn it.
and every effort was so bad. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. We're going to go back to our conversation now. Are you good?
Yeah.
All right.
It's really bad.
Oh my god. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that within the realms of a necromantic spell, there is a certain sort of, prescribed way in which that spell works. However, you're talking of the resonant gift. I also have some experience with that realm. Not that I'm capable of using that myself, but I know many who are. That's something that is more honeable as a skill. That's the type of thing that as you delve into its usage, you are able to, from what I understand, make it your own. Draw upon its powers in a way that potentially involves creativity. So the ability to sort of wield its power in your way.
Thank you.
It's difficult, but doable.
Well, I always say, impossible is a foolish synonym for doable.
That's profound.
I think sometimes. I have something that I'm going to go and pick up. And I want to go into town. I want to see if I can find some form of alchemist's shop or someplace where I could spend the 50 gold to procure a poisoner's kit.
Okay. As you leave, Lavinia says, I'll just wait here for the others.
They'll be out in no time, I'm sure. And I'll be back in none at all.
She seems concerned, but she's comfortable.
It's only down the street.
Right.
Okay. All right, so you're looking for a poisoner's kit. So you head into town, and I mean, you know town fairly well. So you would probably have the resource pool, knowing this place well, to locate that in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah. Actually, I'm thinking about that, and Thyla kind of just stops where they're walking and turns back towards Lavinia. Do you actually want to come with?
Why not?
Sure. Yeah, and I'm gonna just try and go, and I'm gonna find a poisoner's kit if I can.
All right, so you do find your way through town to actually an alchemist shop, which there are two of in the town of Corey. And I'll just kind of let this one play out where you do manage to go inside, have a look around. The poisoner's kit is 60 gold pieces. It's a little bit more expensive than the 50 that you said you had.
I have 86,
Oh.
so yeah, that's ain't nothing but a thing.
It is a rather nice poisoner's kit, the box that it comes in.
Awesome.
The different materials that are inside. It's
Wonderful.
rather robust.
Awesome. So I will procure that.
Okay. The rest of you come out of the library. Thyla and Lavinia seem to have gone off on their own. What are we doing?
Bar.
To the numbskull.
To the numbskull!
Let the drinking ensue.
Lovely.
Okay. You make your way down the main corridor of the city, and you wind up not long in the Pills Pass at the Numbskull. As you open the door, you do see Gargrin Giant Boots, the familiar dwarf that runs this tavern. And he kind of sees you come in, and you almost see a flicker of recognition in his face as you walk in the door, and he spots you and kind of waves you in. The tavern's hopping at this hour. There's quite a few people in here, and there's dinner being served and drinks being served. What do you want to do?
Wine.
Drinks.
Yeah.
Can I walk up to Glargrin?
How are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm not bad.
I guess the rest of my group go find a table. Is there a table open?
Oh yeah, you can easily find a table.
Can I order a round of drinks for the table?
By all means, you got a preference.
Wine for the lady over there.
Be arranged. If I remember correctly, the lady likes wine in quantity.
We got a bottle.
Of course.
She might need it.
Can I hook you up?
Can you fill up this with some ale.
Oh,
for
you
me.
got your own tankard, eh?
Yeah, it's
All right.
kind of a
Sweaty.
it's a little sweaty.
An heirloom.
It's an heirloom.
I'm all one for a nostalgia. Sure thing.
And we'll get hit the road. What do you want? Mead for the.
Have I met her before? She looks familiar. Mead. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And anything to eat?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got?
We got
Anything you
some
recommend?
Basic dishes. You know, we've got a nice stew on tonight that was made by the wife in the back.
Oh,
So that's decent.
phenomenal
Right.
wine though.
And just about this time of week, there's always someone coming in for a stag, fresh for the spit out back, so we can maybe get some meat going, but I don't have it on yet. So,
3 rounds of the stew for now.
stew it
Sounds
is.
good.
All right, I'll bring it over to you. Go grab a seat and
Steam wine
make
sounds
nice
good.
with the people.
Do you hand me back sweaties?
Please hand you back Sweaty's Tavern full of ale.
Awesome.
Going back to the table.
Lovely.
Procure some drinks and some stew. Fresh stew. The lady made.
Thank you.
So, yeah. What are we doing?
I don't think we should.
Is our friend here?
Which friend?
I don't
Carver
remember.
Vosa?
Yeah, Carver.
Make a perception check for me. Look around the room.
Black Dot was doing pretty good tonight. 15.
A 15's a good number. I will tell you, Carver Vosen is not in the tavern at this moment. However, the last time you met Carver here, you notice Carver was talking to another human individual in this pub. That man is here.
Good to know. Good to know. I think I'm going to just, enjoy my drink in Sweaty's mug, tankard. And just, I guess, converse with my fellow. I don't know what we're doing.
I don't either. I think we should not stay in one place for too long, especially in these parts. We feel like we need to get to Streetcrux.
Yeah, sure.
Crux.
Stutters Tower.
Stutters the tower.
Yes,
Steecrux Tower.
that's a good travel bit away from where we are now.
All right,
Yeah?
so now we're following this lady.
Right.
Well, we tend to adopt strays.
All the time. Like that guy Colin.
Who the fuck is Colin?
One after another.
But yes, we do seem to have very little moral compass, or we're just like, oh, you look shiny. Let's follow you for a minute.
Touch the shiny object, right?
Well, I'm glad that we made friends with this one because she's clearly
Stupid
not
powerful.
to be fucked with. I'm kind of actually surprised that it makes me a little bit more worried about Crix, because if he was,
I mean, Crix is powerful
if she's
too.
afraid of Crix,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not very fond of that concept.
Alright.
I saw that. You don't like it?
that guy over there, he's playing a dice game.
When we are talking and then there's rolling happening, it's very disabling.
I think you're nervous.
Slightly.
A little bit.
Okay. She's afraid of Crix. I mean, we watched Tryphon die. Crix brought him back to life.
Yes.
He's strong. He's
Right.
powerful.
Yes.
Right.
He has a whole
Not going to be happy with us.
fucking crew behind him, and we just wiped out 2 of his guys.
And it's the fucking lieutenants.
Well,
We didn't just kill a goblin or two. We
Cersei's
knocked out
got
his
some
team.
weird book over there.
yeah, it's fucking weird. But I don't know. I feel like we still don't know what we're dealing with Crix.
Tryphon walked away. Can I be petting my cat?
Yep. And as the three of you are talking, all of a sudden you are kind of like huddled in at the table. the stews have arrived, and so you're slurping and chewing on the stew, sipping the ale. The stew is actually quite good. And as you're kind of having this conversation about, what the next move is and whether or not Crix is going to be a problem, and this whole notion of following Lavinia, the chair on the other end of the table slides out, and that gentleman who Carvervosa was talking to flips the chair around, straddles the chair,
How you
sidles up to the table and puts a mug down, and he's like, "Hello.
How you doing, man?
All right.
Yeah.
You been in here before? Seen you?
Mm-hmm.
Friend of Carver? Seen you talking to him?
Yeah.
Did a little business with him, eh?
Good
Yeah.
day.
Hello. And what is your relations to Carver?
I'm just a friend, Tidge. Name is Tidge. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Thrude.
Pleasure.
Seriously.
Seriously, good to know you. You?
Branmore.
Nice to meet you, Bran.
What's your story?
More.
Maybe we'll
Brandmore,
follow
my
you around
apologies.
for a day or two.
Hmm?
Oh, nothing.
What did you say?
I said, what's your story? Maybe we'll follow you around for a day or two.
Well, I don't have a story like that. I'm pretty self-sufficient. I just noticed some people that with familiar faces. I thought I'd stop over and
I'm
say
sorry.
hello.
It's been a little bit of a day. The moon and the stars are not.
That's what we
quite
have to drink,
aligned.
right? That's all we have to drink.
True.
Drink
Solves
up.
everything.
Well, so what's going on? What are you up to? What's your business? Curious. I like a good story. You got a good story?
Just doing some jobs, collecting some.
You know this
coin.
motherfucker named Crix?
All right, bitch.
Crix. I would imagine there's probably not a lot of people around named that. I'm guessing. Am I?
No.
How do you know him?
We ran into him a long time ago. Honestly, I think he kidnapped most of us in the beginning.
Yes.
All right.
Did you say that out loud, or you just kind of?
I did.
How many drinks have you had?
Did you
No.
come in here like pre-sloshed?
No, but
Were you eating the
was
lizard
like
mushrooms
Shot
again?
deep.
the lizard mushrooms. Does this person have anything on the wrist?
You kind of eyeball him. Roll a perception check for me.
That's 21.
A 21. He's clean. Because every once in a while he lifts a tankard. You're able to get a decent glance at him. He doesn't have a tattoo on him. But
A couple of run-ins with him.
I've heard of him. Not a savory fellow, I can say.
No, not at all.
You got bad dealings with him.
Killed one of our friends once.
Good God.
Yeah.
Killed one of them.
Well, then brought him back to serve him, but he escaped.
Wait, let me get this straight.
Yeah, he killed a dude and then brought him back.
To life.
Not just a
life.
dude either. It's a very big, tall, bull
Who ditched us as well.
person thing.
Fuck
Well,
that's
weren't you
about.
in here with that gentleman last time?
Yeah,
that one.
Thrude pulls the horn out,
But
puts it on
Yeah,
the
the
table.
big guy with the horns.
Yeah,
He had like
well-
a metal one.
One
he,
horn, yes.
tucked tail, so to speak. So
So wait, I'm sorry, I'm confused. So he's dead.
no,
He
he's
was.
alive.
He was dead. He's
Now he's
alive.
back.
Now
But
he's
you don't
back.
have him anymore.
And then
No,
was
he's
up.
gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, he
Yes.
scampered off.
He grabs his mug of ale and he
For
just
some
takes like a couple of big swigs.
Ah!
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this straight. So wait a minute. So this Crix guy, which, all right, this is all lining up for me with everything I've ever heard about him. He passes through here once in a while, and I don't mean the tavern, but I've seen him in Corey.
Yeah, we'd like to
Bit
how
of a
you say,
goblinoid fellow, right?
avoid him. Yeah.
Colourful,
Yes, with a little
like a mohawk.
That
yeah, a
stupid
little
little
bird of paradise
hair
thing.
thing.
On top of his head. Yes.
Right. I should say bird of paradise.
That kind of thing. Yes.
So, how did you wind up with him? Do you say? I mean, I'm looking about at you, and I can see you're the adventuring type, but you look like a nice bunch. You got some dealings with Carver, so you at least got some decent, trustworthy business associates, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes not so much. But
Decision making's a funny thing, isn't it?
It sure is.
It's-
Yes, indeed.
You know, my father
We
always
might
used
not
to...
always weigh our options as well as we should, and then find ourselves in predicaments.
Like I was going to say, you know, when I was a kid, I never could make a proper decision because I was always so worried about being wrong. But then my father used to kick me in the ass and he'd say, "Get on, son. It's better to be decisive than to be right." Well, boy, did that fucking screw me a couple of times.
I don't
That
doubt
was
it.
fucking awful.
There's time for calculation and there's time for action.
Agreed. It's about context, right?
That's so true.
So you fucked up, eh? That's what you're trying to tell me?
No, I don't think we've completely fucked up, but, perhaps we've made some questionable
Decisions,
actions,
choices.
words.
So, how do you get out? What's next?
Well-
What you do wrong? Come on, tell me this stuff.
nothing.
You know, come on, this is good stuff.
No, it's alright.
No?
Yeah.
I know, you probably, new guy, don't want to tell him all your stories. It's
Right.
good. That's fine.
for when we're
Let's
older.
just drink.
Yeah.
Like for at least once, we maybe should not open our mouths completely before we know someone
You know,
for
That
more than
sounds-
4
Can I get a-
minutes.
Perhaps you're getting
Perception.
a little
Yeah.
wisdom.
What?
Could I get a perception check on this guy? Like, what's he really here
It's
for?
insight. It would be
Insight.
insight.
Thank you.
Yeah, insight. Go ahead.
That would be something that we don't often do.
Okay.
You also avoid all the good doors and
You're
go in the
so
bad
right.
ones. But, who am I to judge?
Yeah, that's a 4.
Sometimes
Wow,
you got to
a
make
4.
shit happen, and sometimes you believe everything you hear.
Cersei, how much of that wine have you drank?
Not enough.
It's funny. Insight often is used as a mechanism to decide if someone's lying. It's like, oh, this guy's not telling the truth. This guy's not being on the level. This guy's not up front. I would say an insight into this with a 4 doesn't necessarily stop you from understanding anything. I would say a 4 being a low roll, your general feeling of this guy is you're comfortable with him, and I don't want you to think that because it's a low roll, that's a false feeling.
Right.
Okay? Your comfort is genuine. I mean, it
Right.
seems really relaxed. The guy is friendly, right? He's got a decent charisma about him. You feel comfortable around him.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm just not seeing past anything.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. If there is an ulterior, and it doesn't seem like there is, you're not seeing it.
Right.
Thyla, you went off to pick up your poisoner's kit.
Yes.
And after you did that, would you be on your way back?
I think that if Thyla and Lavinia just went and grabbed the poisoner's kit and then went back to the library, they would probably see that these three aren't there. Thyla would remember Bran mentioning the numbskull once or twice, so I think Thyla would probably head in that direction.
Okay. So you're probably about 10 to 15 minutes away from joining them, given that you've got to make the circuitous route.
Cool.
But we'll put you in the room in a few minutes.
What was this
So?
dude's name again?
Tidge.
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 It's such like a time bandit-y name.
Is it?
Kinda.
Kinda.
Tidge.
Tidge.
I don't know, it's just got that kind of vibe.
So where are you off to next? You don't want to talk about where you've been? How about where you're going?
Oh, we're not really sure.
I don't really know.
I don't think we know at all, actually. That's kind of what we were discussing as to what we really feel is a good maneuver for us right now. I think we should lay low a little bit. So forgive me for not being too forthcoming about what we're going to do right now. I'm a little bit triggered by some recent events. And
Tidge says that, Crix comes through town.
I know, that's why I'm a little bit nervous.
So you do have bad dealings with them.
I love releasing information to strangers.
I'm drunk.
Oh, it's all right. Look, what am I gonna do to you? What do you think I'm
I
after?
don't know. I don't know what you are after.
I mean, look, you're a kind dude, but also, be honest, you could be anyone with that emotive.
Of course, don't blame me for
Right?
being like that. But
No,
you also, I've got to say,
absolutely not.
I've
I'm
got
just
to-
saying, I don't you can't always trust everyone.
Let me go
Not
through.
saying you're a bad dude at all.
Let me tell you what I know of you,
Okay.
other than our dealings in the last little bit.
Okay.
All right.
Jack shit.
We and Jack might be leaving town.
Right.
So we've had some interactions with Carver, who is your associate. Clearly a businessman. Yeah?
Carver.
Carver.
Sure, businessman. I wouldn't say he's my associate.
Carver.
I'd call him my friend.
Okay. A friend.
Well, it's like
So maybe you're not doing business with him, but you.
I
hang
know
out
him
with
well. I know him well.
You like to spend time, maybe spin a yarn, hang out a little bit, throw down, blow
You
off
spin
some steam.
yarn.
I'm a collector of stories, right? I
don't
like to
spin
collect
yarn?
stories.
And what do you do with these stories?
What do I do with them? I enjoy them.
Do you share them?
Not necessarily. Sometimes I do, but at
You
least
could-
I respect
Like if I were
people's-
to give you a couple more pints of some type of lovely fluid, would you wind up on a bar stool with a lute in your hands,
Yeah.
spewing everything about where we're going?
No, of course not. I probably share a few of the stories I know from the past, but my intentions are not to be necessarily the ruiner of adventuring parties and lives. I just, I look. All right, a bit about
So-
me. A bit about me. How about that?
Oh,
To be more comfortable?
Sure.
All
yes.
right.
Not
I
that
can give you-
listen, don't misunderstand me. It's not that I'm suspicious of you particularly. Right now, I'm just in a suspicious
Don't
mood.
blame me at all. Look, I hang out in taverns and I ask lots of questions. I hear this a lot.
Quite
okay?
honestly, the people
It's
that you
normal.
hang out with is your friend.
No, and others. If I see an adventuring party come through the door, some strangers that look like they've got some interesting backgrounds, I pop in, I sit down with an ale, and I make some conversation. It makes life interesting.
I respect that. I respect the hell out of it.
I was fortunate when my father passed away. I was fortunate to inherit a little bit of money, okay? So I'm not a rich man, I'm definitely not a noble, but I'm somewhat comfortable, okay? I also inherited my parents' house here in Corey, so I'm essentially a local. I was raised here, I got a bit of coin, I like to come out 2 or 3 times a week, take in a couple of mugs of ale, listen to some stories. They're entertaining. My father used to tell me stories all the time, and when he passed away, those went away. All right, so this is my way of sort of carrying on that tradition and listening to those things.
I love
That's
that.
all.
I love
That's all.
that.
I'm not after you. Like, what am I going to get out of this? You think I was like planted here, something? To maybe like scope you out, see what you're up to. You don't even know what you're up to. You don't know where you're going. So, what's the problem? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna tell
This guy
someone.
knows what's up.
I'll bet you, I've got a really good shot at making about 50 gold pieces off of somebody that wants to hear about a mysterious adventuring party that has no fucking idea what they're doing. That's some information, right? Right. All right. Now, I don't know if that
Might
makes
make
you
a
more.
good book. I don't know. Maybe.
How's your ale looking?
That's a little low, to be
Little
honest.
low, you want to know?
Get
Yeah,
another.
sure. I'll borrow the next round if you buy this one.
Yeah, of course. I'm
All
gonna
right.
shout out to the barkeep. We can get another round.
All right, so he prepares one, and it doesn't take long before it comes over.
So I'm curious. What do you do around here?
What do I do?
Just hang out.
Okay, so a couple of things. One, I love to read, right? And of course, that kind of goes along with the whole thing. I do occasionally function as a teacher in the school system, so I do deal a lot with the Corey histories. But that work comes and goes, because I'm not permanently employed by the school system. So if they need some help, I step in.
Right.
I journal a lot. I write at home. Enjoy a good fire. Love a good whiskey, actually, on a cooler night. Corey doesn't get that cool, but
Warms you
like
up
a
a bit.
nice brown liquor.
I love that.
Always wanted to be an adventurer, and maybe that's why I'm drawn to you, because I envy that. Always wanted to delve down deep into some cave somewhere and check out what's going on.
Why don't you just get out there?
Because I'm a bit older, I wake up in the morning and my back hurts, for fuck's sake.
I mean, you could still take a trip somewhere, have some adventure without the peril.
True. Might be nice to get up to, Bond of Gravenwich in the freezing cold, freeze my ass off, right?
Absolutely. yeah.
See something exciting.
Beautiful sights of
You'd like to be
Afari.
up north? Huh?
Yeah, I'd love to see the cold, the mountains and the snow. Sure, never been there before. Love to see that.
It's quite the sight to be seen.
Have you been?
That's where I'm from. I grew up there.
See, now this is the type of thing I'd love to hear about. That's kind of my jam,
Sometimes when the sun hits the glaciers just right, it makes it feel like there's a bluish glow to the entire sky,
Oh my god, that'd be beautiful.
like a bow across the sky.
Did you grow up there?
Yes,
You're lucky.
Frostholm.
And now you're all the way down here. It's
I do find
fantastic.
myself missing it.
You get to see so much.
Tidge, you say you wish you were an adventurer. You ever killed anyone?
Wow! Going right for the meat of it, eh, Brandmore?
Well, we're sharing Elves and stories, so, you know.
Have I ever killed someone? No. To be totally honest with you, I have not.
I have.
However, wow. You know, a pretty one like you, something tells me I shouldn't be surprised.
Pretty ones are
watch
the
out for
dangerous
her.
ones.
Now, I have collected a number of stories, though, and I've sat with a few that have killed. Now, I've sat with a few that have killed outright. You know, adventuring parties, run across a nefarious crew, there's a fight, and there's death. I'm assuming you've been there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I've sat with a few that have been a little bit quieter about it. Yeah, cold-hearted, quiet killers. Unbelievable.
You get their stories?
Of course.
What's the craziest one?
It's the craziest story I've ever heard. Well, there was a man that passed through here years ago. I sat with him for a long time, and he used to have a boat. He used to live down along the south coast of the Sea of Dota. And he used to run a taxi service down there, back and forth across the Sea of Dota, shuttling passengers. Young man inherited the boat from his parents, and this was his business. And he fell in love, and he married a woman. We got drunk that night, and he swore to me that I should keep his secret. He had a jealous streak in him. He always suspected that his wife was cheating on him, and it drove him crazy. Once, they were in a port town, getting ready to prepare for a 2-week journey back across the sea. And their fares, 2 of whom, cancelled. One was ill, so they decided not to travel. So he had to travel with his wife across the sea on a 2-week journey by themselves. So she, of course, was in town, and he was absolutely certain that she was cheating on him. But he had to prepare the boat, didn't have time to go in and check, and sure enough, she shows up a little while later. A week out to sea, out in the middle of the Sea of Dota, nothing but ocean all around. And he snaps when he accuses her of cheating. And of course a fight ensues, and he didn't mean to do it. But she fell back in a passionate rage and cracked her head on the side of the boat. Died right there. He was heart shattered.
Wow.
He cried right here into his beer as we drank. The story gets a lot darker.
Doozy.
How much can you handle?
What do you got?
Was her name Natalie?
I mean, we
Say
got
again?
beers,
Was her name
we
Natalie?
got wine.
Was her name Natalie? No, not that. That's fucked up, man. Because I know where you're going with it.
All right, fine. So, how dark does it go?
Try to make some references that people under 50 are going to get.
Sorry, this is for the Gen Xers.
Do you know the story of Natalie Wood?
3.
I'm fairly certain.
All right, let's keep going.
Is this?
Huh?
Is this that?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, get this, because this is amazing. Do you want me to cut this short, or you want the full detail?
No, give it to us. We're in it.
All right, I'll give it to you.
You've got me hooked.
He's
You're a
heartbroken.
fabulous storyteller.
He's heartbroken. He's got his dead wife on the boat with him. Still has more than a week's journey, right? And it wasn't bad enough that the wind started to die down, right? So the boat half the time is in irons, can't even sail. Sail's just sitting there flapping away, stuck at sea with his dead wife. So what does he do? He brings her in and he props her up at the table and he shares meals with her. Of course, she starts to smell a bit, right? So he leaves her out on the deck of the boat. Can't bear to give her a burial at sea. Can't bear it. And he hates himself, hates his jealousy, hates what he put her through, knows that she was in fact an angel, says it to himself he made a mistake, right? Knows that he is inherently bad and she was inherently good. So rather than throw her overboard, do you know what he did?
What did
He
you do?
dried her out, ground her up, and made her into a tea. And he felt that if he ingested her, he would intake her goodness. And I'm sitting with this man thinking, fuck all, I'm gonna die.
Did you drink the tea? Did you
No,
have any of that?
I'm fucking drinking beer,
Why
man.
would you fucking drink the tea if you
Because
had
he didn't
some?
have it on him.
Oh.
I thought he was out of his fucking mind.
Well, surely, but
Anyway.
I tried the tea, the
Get
dead wife
this.
tea. You wouldn't drink the dead wife tea?
He made tea out of her and then he stored it. And you want to know what? He rolled up in that next port town like nothing happened. And a couple of people had said to him, so, where's your wife? And he said, she up and left me in the last port town. We're done. And they believed him because he was meek and he was kind and no one ever suspected. Wow. Now, this man, when I met him, was easily in his 70s, maybe late 60s, okay? He goes on to tell me, because this is a story of when he was a young man. He goes on to tell me, no shit when I tell you this. This happened 6 more times in his life. He falls in love, he marries a woman, and in a jealous rage, she mysteriously dies.
And there's new tea bags on the
And he
boat.
makes tea out of it.
Where is this tea man?
I don't know. He was passing through court.
Serial
I need new
herbalist.
tea. I want this tea. I want to try the dead lady tea.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Who doesn't want to try the
I'll
dead
tell
lady
you what.
teas?
I'll tell you what. In your travels, if you run across a little old man named Derek,
Derek.
Derek.
Tea man.
something Derek Phobum, or yeah, Phobum. Derek Phobum.
Derek Phobum.
He was on the run, and you know what he told me? Fuck, I probably shouldn't be telling you this. This is one of those stories that I reveal.
Fine, you keep giving.
Oh, it's good stuff, though, isn't it?
I kind of like
Fucking
you.
amazing. Made tea out of 7 wives. Drinks
That's
it
like a
up.
value pack.
Well, he thinks
A sampler of dead wives.
that's right. You can do flights of all of his wives.
Oh my!
Lay
I
down
want
on the
dead wife
boards.
flights.
Dead
Who
wife.
Dead
wants
wife
dead wife
flights?
flights?
But I will tell you this. He was fearful because he believes he had been caught. He was on the run. He was passing through Corey like that. And I managed to sit down with him, get a few stories out of him, have a bunch of ales, and I think he was kind of like, it felt like he was in some kind of confessional. Because we had it out for a while. He talked for a bit, but he was on the run.
Well, if you got 7 dead wife teas out of him, that was a bit of a conversation, no?
Strangest old thing. All hunched over. Really sweet old man. You wouldn't guess it. Unbelievable. Said he would settle down, stop marrying, never see another woman again as long as he lives. Said he wanted to maybe do charity work and try and make up for things. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. So trust me,
Well, I
when
mean-
you sit here reluctant to tell me about your lack of ability to know where the hell you're going, I think to myself, boy, if you could only know what I've heard.
Well, I understand the
I mean, that story is
proclivity
worth.
to perchance try to honor those that are no longer with you. Maybe by accident you've...
Oh, well, fuck all. Just have a painting made or something,
or,
right?
you know, maybe
look, take
put
her old
some
shawl
of their
and put it in a
remains
box.
into
Smell it once in a while.
giant axe.
They'll fucking make tea out of her.
I mean, right. I mean, tea is weird. I mean, you know, why wouldn't you just honor them by putting them in a weapon?
Wait, what?
I think I talked. I talked a little too much now. But I'm not judging Mr. T Man. What?
T-Man.
So did I hear that?
I certainly did.
And
Through- what'd you say?
Through just kind of pushes back from the table a little bit and strokes the blade of tear and just kind of.
Looks like your compatriot opened a door she didn't want to open, so let's just leave her be.
Do you? do
With
you
that,
have a full-
Thyla and Lavina walk in the door.
Yeah, we
Three
do.
stands up, goes
Hey,
over to the dwarf at the bar.
Thyla.
Okay.
Oh. Tyler just kind of turns to Lavina. I see our compatriots are already in it.
Yeah. You missed a gripping story.
Hello. What's your name?
Ah, they call me Thyla.
Oh, Thyla, nice to meet you. I'm Tidge. You with these people?
Indeed, yes.
And who's the other one over there? And she introduces herself and just kind of pulls up a chair and sits down, and she's kind of not really interested in this guy.
So, friends,
Yeah.
we mentioned the idea of setting out to Pills. Do you think we should stay the night here and rest and recuperate, or should we head out now?
Well, we've been sitting with this Mr. Tidge here. He is quite the storyteller.
I think you should listen to this one. Sounds like they've got a bit of a, an agenda and a plan. That's the most planning I've heard from the lots of you since you sat down.
Well, we've been a bit distracted.
They might be the ones leading the party right now, but,
All right.
we don't know.
The thing is,
Yeah.
we know where we're going. We know what stops that we are making. What I am asking is, are you all so deep in your tankards that we need to bed down for the night before leaving? Or
Oh, for sure not.
Should we
can
hit the
leave
road?
tonight.
Thrud goes over to, is it Garwin? Gargin? Gargrin?
Gargrin.
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 Slaps down 2 gold and says, take care of all of them, especially the one with the 1 horn. Make sure. Fuck it. 3 gold. Keep the old man drinking. And walks out and says, where's the closest forge?
Where are you going?
Closest forge would probably be gotta put my glasses on, sorry.
That's alright.
The Jodik Zana.
What?
That's a dwarven forge. It's in the Rock Hollow Pass. It's in the 1 quadrant of town.
How far is that?
Not long. It'll take you 5 minutes to walk there. And he gives you directions.
I'm out.
Can I perceive?
Have a good night.
Where are you going?
You see Thrud kind of just head out the door. And I'll say that all of this was punctuated by some pretty quick movements after Thrud opened her mouth about something slipping and then gone.
Right. I'm gonna dip out after through.
Fucking Cersei, where are you going?
Oh, well, looks like the party's breaking up, eh?
Oh, sorry, lovely to meet you. I just gotta check.
All right.
sometimes we just sort of walk around, need to blow off some steam for a bit. It happens.
Tidge, what did my dwarven friend say?
What did she say?
Yeah.
She said something about putting dead bodies in a weapon. Not quite sure how that works, but,
She's crafty.
she gets around. No one? No one?
She's crafty.
Yeah, she's always down.
Yeah.
All right.
She's
There we go.
just like that.
God, I'm stupid.
No,
Lord.
we're just old.
Yeah, Beastie Boys. Sorry, it wasn't Kanye. You guys wouldn't get it.
Wow.
You fucking twats. Anyway.
Wow.
I've probably heard it. I've heard it.
Yeah.
Fucking horrible.
On the edge and then called you twats.
Bold of you to assume
timestamp
that's what I listen to. Fucking hell.
We're like chapel
Yes! We are knee deep
in
in the passenger seat. But we can't continue with
We
those
cannot
lyrics.
do that. No.
But you know what
This
comes
is a-
after.
Not family friendly at all. I regret to inform you.
Wow.
What? Can I just ask a time of the seasons, month?
Time of the season?
Yeah, where are we?
We are into late spring. So we're probably just starting to push the boundary of what would be summer. So, but not quite. Not quite. I'd say we're probably 2/3 of the way through the spring season.
Still in green mode.
Yeah, for
Bet.
sure. You're in green mode.
I'm gonna catch up to Thrud and be like, hey girl, where you off to?
I suddenly feel the need to. I have a certain
Calling to do something.
It's not so much a calling. It's an inspiration to potentially. So there's something about my process
Right.
where I have to make something to discover something.
Right.
Yeah.
Understood. No,
And I
absolutely.
can't do that with people around right now. So
Um,
I sensed from you that you had something that was unsettling, and that conversation might have
it was
brought something up.
hard to be a part of that conversation.
I didn't find it entirely off-putting.
Yeah,
I would drink tea.
yeah.
But, yeah, so I need a little bit of air. I need to figure some things out, maybe, and, you know.
Do you mind if I just come with you but keep quiet myself? I won't
You keep quiet.
be in your way. I kind of just want to flip through this book and...
Is Cersei walking with a wine bottle in hand right
I
now?
hope so.
You left the wine bottle at the table?
What?
I'll say that I took it. I'll say
there we
that I
go.
took the wine bottle, but I sort
Better.
of got it tucked into the...
I was going to say, something's wrong here.
Sort of like this,
Listen,
you know?
This is a big leap of trust for me to include you in this right now. So
No, I don't expect you to make that leap.
I understand your proclivities to want to stir the sauce. How you say? Every now and again, maybe
Stir the sauce?
fuck shit up. You know, fuck around a little bit.
Right.
So this is not the time for that. And
No.
if you can keep that at bay,
Absolutely.
then Thrude looks up at the moon
Yep.
and sees it as got a little bit of an air about it, a little bit of a ring, and starts to head off to the forge and says, "If you can keep quiet, you can come."
Yeah, and please, if you change your mind, you decide you just need your space to yourself, let me know immediately.
All right, let's establish a safe word. If I say noxious, then you shut it down, yeah?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Noxious is our safe word.
Lovely.
I'm going to make a note of that.
Okay.
Can't wait to use that in a fight.
So it's not long before you wind up at Ozana, the forge, the dwarven run forge in Cori. The building itself is a little bit downtrodden and run down. It doesn't have the grandeur that you would expect a large dwarven run forge to have. You sort of recall what Thyla had mentioned earlier in your travels to Cori about the basic structure and how there didn't seem to be a lot of dwarven representation in the system of government there, and that they were underrepresented. And so this sort of makes sense as you come upon it.
Oh, that's this town?
Yes.
This is like we are going back into Rockwell.
No, you're still in Cori.
Oh, we're still in Cori.
Yes, this forge is in Cori. But the you approach the front door. You can actually hear hammer falls from inside. You can hear the vast sort of belching of gases and steam and the bellows that are pumping inside. You can see the occasional, through the glass on the front of the building, you can see the orange illumination as, fire and forge are being lit up in the night. So this forge is running. The door is open, and you pass through. And you do see what appears to be an initial sort of not well-stocked storefront warehouse area where you could probably buy the goods that are available for sale there, but it's open behind the counter. And you can see straight into the forge area. So you do see a number of dwarven smiths working off in this very, very large space. And as the two of you walk through the door, you're spotted by a male dwarf who comes forward, sees you both, extends a hand to you through, and says, "Good evening. What can I do for you? Welcome to Cori."
Thank you. I'm looking for some forge time.
Can be arranged.
Yes.
Yeah. We charge a modest price for that, and given the fact that you're a familiar, we can probably offer you a bit of a discount.
Oh, that's much appreciated. Much obliged.
You need materials.
I might need a little bit of mild steel, perhaps.
Absolutely can be provided for you.
Do you have any more exotic metals?
We might have a few. It depends on what you're looking for. But before we get started, let me just start a tab for you, because I want to just make sure that I keep a ledger of everything that you use and the time in the forge so that we can properly bill you.
Absolutely adequate. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Ramond. Ramen Flintfall.
That's a good forging name.
Of course.
Thrud.
Family history, you know.
I believe it. I've heard of the Flint Falls before.
Pulls out a ledger, opens it up to a fresh page. And your name?
Thrud Volander.
Thrud Volander. Good. Mild steel, quantity unknown. What other metals were you looking for?
I'm looking for things that are maybe not so native to this region, perhaps.
Not gonna lie, we're not very well stocked. You've probably heard the support in this town for forges such as this, at least the ones of the dwarven nature.
Yes, I heard a little bit of how we were pushed to the side there.
It's all about representation in the town. We do the best we can, and I'm enthusiastic about the future, but you do what you have to do.
The elven
We try not to talk.
spotlighting a little bit.
Well, of course. Well, why would you expect anything less? But,
Sadly, this happens quite a bit throughout the world.
when, the functionality, when beauty can meet functionality in a way that's true to a dwarf, whereas you compare that or contrast that to this flair and beauty that overrides functionality.
Well, function over form is what built most of the things in this world.
Agreed. But all of a sudden, when you take all that form and flair and you denounce function, should we get into a political debate about this? Because I think we're on the same side here. I like this.
I agree with you 100%.
I like
I
you
think, I feel a kindred spirit to you. Yes, I agree that a certain level of craftsmanship is important. It's very good to be attentive to detail, but if it does not work, what is the point?
There are times when I feel so satisfied striking the metal on the anvil over and over again, and I think about some of those other people.
Well, I don't want to seem like I'm intolerant, but I understand.
We all have a line drawn.
Sure.
Anyway, I'll tell you what. I've got a couple of assistants over there. If you notice them over there on the second forge on the left, they're kind of eyeing us up right now. If you head over in that direction, I'm absolutely certain that they can get you whatever you need. They'll keep track of what you utilize. If you need any other assistance, you let me know. What's your name?
Seriously, I'm just tagging along with my friend Third here.
Are you an elf?
Of the sort, yeah.
She's all right. She's not an artisan in so much of that realm, but she does
come with judgment.
She has a very good proclivity for flame and understanding the power of it and its transformative usefulness.
Yes.
I'll vouch for her.
You're not going to get a very kind eye in this place, I'll tell you that, but
I don't mind.
if Thrud vouches for you, I guess it's all right, but
We've been in the scrap or two, and she has proved her mettle.
watch yourself. That's all I got to say.
I understand.
All right. Well, get what you need and...
Do you have much experience with those who are in Rock Hollow, by any chance?
On Rock Hollow?
Yes.
I mean, I know that there's still some that live up there, but I don't have much communication with them. Most of my time is spent in Corey, but I think some of the townsfolk do. Why?
No, I was just, we had passed through there, and I was curious about...
It used to be a
Some of the
thriving
work that comes
place
up
in
with
its day. It seems to have just kind of been forgotten. There were people there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've heard of a forge mistress from there.
Really?
Yes, it seemed like she was an elder. And anyway, I just wondered if you maybe have heard of her Dolthrin on there.
She's got skills and
Delver?
wisdom. Send her this way.
Well, perhaps I will.
I'd love to have
to
more.
Make her acquaintance at some point a little bit more. But
I'm sorry I
for now,
couldn't help you there.
no, I appreciate that. Then it's very good. So, forge number 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Just head over there. They'll give you a hand with anything you need.
Third makes her way over and asks to start the bellows and get the fire nice and hot.
The two assistants immediately hop to it. They start feeding coal into the actual forge. The other one is sitting there pumping it. It glows cherry red, and you got a nice angled pit in front of you with all of the tools you need. There's some mild steel already in there, ready to work.
Beautiful.
There's a couple of like tall steel containers on legs next to them. So you've got different types of mineral chemicals that can be used for like cold forging, and you can kind of put between the layers of metal to do things like billets and that sort of thing. So you basically have everything before you. You do notice that as you begin to work, the one dwarf that was first shoveling coal does every once in a while walk over, and there's a slate with some chalk and marks quantities and things. So they're basically there just kind of taking stock of what you're doing and
Being good artisan assistants, yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Well, I would like to take a lot of this mild steel that I'm working with. I'm going to fold it a couple times to make a nice, simple, but elegant laddered Damascus. I'm going to draw that out into a longer billet, and then start to take that around the horn of the anvil, and start to formulate more of a ring, kind of a headpiece, as it were.
Okay.
And draw out the center to make sort of a cross. Yeah? At the top is rounded, and the bottom comes down a little bit squared off, as it were.
Okay.
Then after a while, I'm going to put this into an acid etch to really bring that pattern out of the Damascus.
Nice.
Once the temperature cools down just a bit, but keeps it still malleable,
Right.
I'm going to pin open a hole in the rounded part and start to dry that out so that that becomes more of a donut at the top. So it looks almost like a, how you say, I don't know if any of you have been around this very old culture, but there was an Ankh type thing I've heard tale of. Circle at the top, cross, little stem. I'm going to take out Tryphon's horn and slowly fit it into the hole that I've drawn out, and then kind of peen that in and around the back to kind of make two little hooks that secure it in place and form the metal. You can smell a very horrible smell because bone and keratin, it does not go well with hot metal, but
Right.
it sort of bonds to it and infuses, and someone open the window because it's a little bit funky. It's a minotaur horn.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a little
So-
marrow in there that's
Yeah,
kind
it's-
of burning off as you put the hot steel in there. Okay.
And then I'm going to take another little bit of mild steel,
Okay.
I'm going to pound that out and to a pie shape, and then start to form that around the horn of the anvil. Take my battle tongs and put that and crimp that around the top of the minotaur horn to give it a hard point. I'll form that around again, and then take that to a grinding stone once it cools. Give it a nice sharpening. Quench everything. Make sure it is no fractures, no cracks, no fissures. And then I'm going to go over to the counter to settle up.
All right. So, Raymond comes over and grabs the slate over by forge number 2, brings it over, works in the ledger for a little while, fills it all out, and he's like, 17 gold pieces sound fair.
Absolutely. Through takes out. Stand by. Through takes out 20 and puts it down. It says, for all of your tolerance with my friend and allowing me the time in here to make something that I needed to make to help process some feelings, a little extra for your forge to help keeping the fires hot.
Well, Mr. That's much appreciated. I thank you for your time, and come back and visit anytime.
Thank you.
You,
You run a very lovely fire hole.
when you
It makes my heart warm, and I hope to see you again at some point.
You're a fine craftsperson. I was watching you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You as well.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Fire.
I was gonna say during that time, sort of spent time watching through go back and forth between whatever she was doing, just feeling the rhythm and the heat and just relaxing, and then looking into my book and searching for this name that the librarian referenced, and whenever it gets a bit too uncomfortable, I just go back and watch what Thrud is doing and think about the heat and the transformative power of the fire, and the striking and the molding, and just cycling back and forth between this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to head back to the tavern at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's been going on in the tavern, actually, while they've been gone?
Well, I think that Thyla has been kind of intermittently going back and forth between enjoying the drinks, also just kind of hearing the occasional story from Tidge. I imagine that due to Bran's insistence, Thyla would also have received the story of T-Guy, so they are appropriately disturbed by that. But I also think that Thyla would also want to continue picking Lavina's brain.
Mm-hmm.
Just to try and continue to sort of coax her into the group dynamic and just sort of I guess warm up.
Okay. Okay. Well, at one point, Tidge did kind of look over at Lavina and just be like, "So, where'd you, if you don't mind me asking, where'd you lose the horn?" And you see Lavina's posture change a little bit. She kind of looks at him and she picks up, she's got a nice big mug of ale there and she draws heavily off of it and she looks at him and she's like, if it's all the same to you, I'm just going to have my drink and I'll listen to your stories. And he looks at her and he's like, "Oh yeah, all right, no hard feelings, just, curious. Where are you, are you from around here? She's like I said." And she kind of just leans back in her chair and she's got kind of a hard look on her right now. I can't tell whether that's anxiety over sticking around or whether that is just her demeanor, but I haven't picked up on that quite yet.
Yeah.
So we get back to the front of the door.
Before we go in,
Yeah.
just thank you for letting me come along. It was really nice. I can't really put my finger on it, but I'm really deeply unsettled by this book, and I could sense you were deeply unsettled by something potentially. So I appreciate that we got to connect through your creativity and craftsmanship, and I just found it really peaceful, and I just want to thank you for sharing that space with me.
Well, sometimes I find it's easier to figure out feelings and thoughts when you can process them in a way that is outside of the normal.
And
So I'm glad that you found some enjoyment in that and that you saw value in it. I did not like the way that your vibe, your demeanor changed after that time in the library. But I can identify with that sometimes.
Yeah.
Things happen. We don't always know what they do and how they mean.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the act of doing that helps tell us a story, and we understand things a little bit more from that. With that, Thrud takes the piece that she had just made in the forge and raises it up over her head and seats it down on top of her so that there's this long piece that goes over her nose, and Tryphon's horn is coming up out in front of her head. Only has a headpiece.
That's incredible.
And walks through the door.
That's incredible. Holy shit.
It's pretty fucking rad.
That's amazing.
I'm a badass unicorn.
And as you walk in the door and you start heading over to the party's table, now Branmorn and Tidge especially are like, absolutely intoxicated. I'm assuming
Fucking
Brenmorn's been
sloshed.
continuing to drink. You can go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw if you want, or you can just let the DM make you intoxicated. I don't care.
I think you're drunk.
I think you're
know
I
you well enough
haven't
to know
been
that you've
drinking
been
too much.
Right,
the
I've
team
been
men
figured since
all
you
night,
you
and-
joined the party after the
Yeah,
fact too.
I think I've just had like a couple sips, but I'm more. Thyla's more interested in the conversations that are happening
Sure.
at the table.
Sure. And so at that point, too, after sort of Tidge was rejected by Lavinia, the conversation would have turned to you, and, you know, Tidge is saying, he's like, so, you say you're going down to Pills. What's the plan? I'm curious. Where are you going?
Well, we're simply heading in
direction.
an eastern direction. We're
Well, of course, you're going to Pills. You're going east, but
Well, yes.
I don't expect you going much east to Pills.
well, no. We are simply snooping around the area. We have some interest, and I've been out that way before, just seeing some natural phenomenon that could warrant the attention of a group like ours.
Sure do beat around the bush a bit, don't you?
It's a habit.
So off to Pills, got an adventure planned, can't tell me what it is.
Nope.
Well, I like to keep my cards somewhat close to my chest.
Maybe when we come back, we can share some stories once it's not so imperative
Yeah.
that it's secret. How does that sound?
Fine with me.
Plus,
I'll go.
more beer.
Well, that sounds like a plan.
Right.
You know, head back through Corey and meet up again.
Indeed. If it gives you another excuse to drink with these fine folks, I can hardly imagine it would be anything but worth it.
Well, I have to say, I gave you a hell of a story tonight.
That you did.
I
Yes, you
expect
did.
you owe me one, eh?
That seems fair.
So I want you to go out there, get your story, bring it back to me so I can add it to the index. That would be
Indeed.
nice. I could journal about it, write it down, share it with someone down the road after you're long gone.
Absolutely.
Don't worry, I got no interest in endangering you in any way, shape, or form.
Thyla sort of taps their tankard on the table and dumps the contents into Tidge's mug. And I am going to approach bartender, Gargrin, I believe.
Right?
And I'm going to ask him, just quickly, you wouldn't happen to have any rum? Particularly just with the highest possible alcohol content that you can give me.
Yeah, I got something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could I trouble you for maybe a bottle?
A whole
For the road.
bottle.
Or something cheap,
Well,
but
alright.
good.
High alcohol content rum isn't easy to come by, so that's not going to be cheap.
So what you got?
Well, the cheap ones are going to give you one fuck of a headache, I'll tell you that.
Oh, trust me.
All right, let me see what I got. So he kind of like rummages around underneath the bar area. You see him put one up, and he's like, "Not that one. That's a good one." When you say cheap, what do you mean?
Budget's 25 gold.
Oh, 25 gold. All right.
Chill swimming in it.
He's like, I got a whole bottle of rum for 8 silver, but it'll probably make you boff. He reaches under and he pulls out this other bottle of rum, and he's like, I'll give you that one for 20. It's about 150 proof. You can light a fire with it. Not exactly perfectly made. A little bit on the, pungent side. But you're gonna like it. It's gonna do the job. If you're looking for high content, this is it.
I could start a fire with it, you say.
Of course.
I'll take it.
He takes the 20 gold from you, passes it over, gives you a wink and a nod.
All right. Manage inventory, add custom item.
Are the rest of you at the table?
150 proof
You're at the table now?
rum.
Yeah.
He kind of, so as you're sitting down, do you still have the horn on?
Oh, yeah.
The highest proof I've ever had of anything.
I
is like
needed to
120
work some
proof
shit out.
whiskey, and that was heinous.
You worked on
I'm
something.
not drinking this.
Yes.
Is that our friends?
That's our friends, yes.
Well, this is 700.
You
Listen, I have a bit of an issue with this Crix person. It's causing me some you say, distrust of the universe. Huh?
Well,
I
that's
don't
big.
like the fact that he's harvesting horns. Our friend leaves in the middle of everything. And now suddenly we're allied with this other very powerful, very impressive one-horned wonder. And I needed to honor our friend. Our
Surrounded by a
fallen
lot of horns.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand the meaning of it all yet, but I figured maybe it'll help guide me in some way.
All right, I'm in the conversation, right? Because we've been hanging out and I'm,
Sure.
had a lot to drink, and I know you went away for a little bit while and you came back looking like a, rhinoceros. But
That's Mrs. Rhinoceros to you?
of course, no disrespect meant. But I'm starting to see a pattern at this table, right? Because your quiet friend over there, the one with the, she's not really that friendly. I found out, but sorry. She's only got one horn.
Yes.
And then you said the Minotaur guy, he only had one horn.
Correct.
And now you went and put one on your face.
Yes. It's the Minotaur's other horn.
Well, that's nice. So I'm wondering, what's the deal? And then you mentioned something about this Crix fellow. What's
Listen,
odd about that? What's strange
People
about that?
prize horns as possessions.
We're just the one horny
I don't
crew.
know why?
That's what I'm thinking. No, I got some information. I got some
You
thoughts
two are
here.
drunk.
A couple of times I've seen Crix in town. Sometimes I've seen him and he's got this basket on his back, right? Woven basket that he wears with the double strap.
Right.
And sticking up out of the basket, he had a collection of horns.
It
Like
seems to be a bit of a fetish for him.
It's strange. I saw that with him and I thought, oh, that's interesting. The fellow likes horns.
Bit of a fetish for a lot of those creeps.
No, but I think he was selling them in the market or talking to someone in the market square about them.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Interesting.
Really? That's good to know.
I don't know. I don't want to get in his business. I certainly don't want to be on his bad side. I heard he's a real bastard.
Yeah, he's a piece
Yeah,
of
he
shit.
really is.
Indeed.
Steer clear of him if you would like to stay out of entanglements.
Cersei rediscovers the bottle of wine she corked and stowed on her inside pocket.
Okay.
Big fucking gulp.
As you guys are doing this, Lavinia kind of like, she's got one foot on the table holding her chair at like a 45-degree angle as she's
yeah.
sipping her beer.
Bad bitch.
And all of a sudden she kind of like lets the chair come up, puts her foot down, grabs her mug, and sort of walks up to the bar to get another beer. And as she does, she turns and looks, or I should say Tidge kind of leans into all of you and he's like, hey, listen to me right now. I didn't want to tell you this while she was here, trying to make nice with her. I've seen her before. Last time I saw her, she had 2 horns, so I didn't recognize her quite right away. But she's been in Corey a fair bit. I don't know her deal, right? But the fact that she's really quiet with you guys, it bothers me a bit, okay? Watch your step. Don't want to see you get hurt. Now it's time for me to go home. And after giving you that bit of information, I'm not waiting for her to come back because she looks like a bit of a badass.
That she is.
We know.
Listen, safe travels to each of you.
Thank you.
And to you, Tim.
All right.
appreciate your
And if you
company.
come back through Corey, all right, I want to make sure I get the story from you.
But of
All right.
course.
All right. And if you meet Derek, make sure to drink some of that tea.
Oh,
All right.
I'll bring some back for you.
All right. Good.
We'll make a nice Arnie Palmer.
All right. Night to all of you.
Good night.
Take care.
Who's Arnie Palmer?
And that's where we're gonna end our game.
Really quickly.
Yeah.
Because if we're planning on getting rooms, Thyla wasn't going to sleep in the room.
Okay.
I was going to
We can kind of just end this with what we plan to do for the night.
I wanted to see if the numbskull had kind of like a backyard area.
The numbskull actually does, because there is a large pit out there where they will sometimes smoke meats or put meat on the spit and cook it.
Wonderful. I kind of wanted to sort of find a spot to sit down on the back of, like, and just, like, lean my back up against, like, the back of the building. Put my claws in the dirt. And as I sleep,
do my best to kind of commune with the resonant gift however I can.
Why don't you roll a wisdom check for me?
Gladly. I beg you, don't embarrass me, motherfucker! Oh my god, yes, 21.
21. All right. For whatever it's worth, as you're trying to sort of commune with the resonant gift, you reach down into the soil as you settle in for the night, dig your claws down into the dirt behind this. Now, we are in a city,
Yeah.
right? So this is not exactly the most fertile ground.
Yeah.
But given your roll, you plant your claws in the soil, and you feel a coldness at first down in the earth. You know, a coldness that, you know, is earth, ground.
Yeah.
But slowly you feel a slight pulse kind of move through your fingers. And this rhythmic pulse begins to just move through your fingers. And as it does, almost as if the warmth from that rhythmic pulse moves up and through your arms and systemically begins to move through your chest until it connects, and you kind of feel this resonating wavelength pulse moving through your body. It's a start, but you do feel it.
Cool.
All right.
I would like to ask Gargun for some discreet lodging.
Some discreet lodging? Absolutely
Someplace that
providable.
We don't necessarily want many people to know where we are. What do you think? 1 or 2 rooms?
Yeah.
He kind of looks at you and says, anyone gonna come asking for you?
Well, possibly.
Well, what do they look like?
Orcish, goblinoid, mohawk.
We don't like the O. I know who you're talking about.
So if you could keep an eye and an ear out for us, there would be an extra gold piece for you in the morning.
That sounds nice.
All right.
I got your back.
Thank you.
Upstairs, 3rd and 4th door. How many rooms you need? 2?
Yes, please.
2, yes.
Yeah.
3rd and 4th door on the left. There's an extra barricade in the closet you can slap behind the door. Just put that up.
Much appreciated.
Pay me in the morning.
Very good.
Lovely.
All right, and that's going to end our session. So our music is provided by Pocket Bar, which was actually having fun. We finally got to use the tavern, which we've been looking to use. So that was really cool. Don't forget to like and subscribe with this video, people. And also leave some comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing you next time. We will talk to you soon. Thanks to all of you. All right.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
See you.